welcome everyone. This is my channel and I remember to do intros. I'm Lindy. Thank you guys so much for hanging out. We're back and I have power and knock on wood, it doesn't go out again on me this Friday. So we're gonna go around, we're gonna say who we are and who we're going to be playing. But first, I have a couple of special announcements. First of all, we are sponsored by Roll20. It's our virtual tabletop of choice. They're awesome. We're gonna be using their character sheets, and Alice is a pro Roll20 DJ because all the lovely music you hear is in Roll20, and she's just got it all memorized because she's a badass. Also, someone else who's a badass is Lily, and it's her birthday today. So give her plenty of birthday wishes and all that good stuff because she's awesome, and she's going to talk some about a charity when I throw it over to her because she's supporting an awesome charity, and I'll be spamming it in the chat throughout the stream. So check it out. Those are my special announcements. So I guess I should say who I am and who I'm playing. It's me, I'm Lindy. I'm playing Zarina Nix. She is, just a normal lady with a lot of robot parts and is definitely not going to go shopping for more robot parts this episode, much to the dismay of her ex-near fiance. That's all about her. I'm just going to throw it down to Lily. How are you?
Hi, I'm doing good. Thank you. I'm just a little blurry, so forgive it. Thank you. Thank you. It is my birthday, and thank you for the birthday wishes in chat. And I am trying to raise some money for Little Warriors. They are a Canadian charity that supports and educates and advocates on behalf of child sex abuse survivors, which is a very, very important cause because I just had a very intense conversation with the founder. And if you want to watch it, the VOD is over on my channel. But yeah, it is a hell of a problem, and basically nobody is talking about it. So if you can today, if you have the ability and the funds, please, there's a donate link in chat. Would just love to help them out. It costs $25,000 to support one kid through the therapy needed for them to help and get a move on after such terrible trauma. So if you have anything at all to give, I super appreciate it. If you can share the word, if you can, whatever you want to do, I just appreciate it. And I'm excited to be here playing games with all of these lovely people on my birthday and all of you. So thank you so much. Yay.
Hey, and who are you playing?
Oh yes, I am playing Hybria Mingzhu Zhenfang, who was recently reunited with her esteemed older brother, and we shall see how that goes.
Finally, after so long, someone who was reunited with her brother before she was. Greg, how are you?
Hey, my name's Greg. I'm playing Cantor, but enough about me. Today it is Lily's birthday, and if you could, please celebrate by donating to the charity and everything that she just mentioned. So make sure that if you can, please do so. If not, sit back, and if you would like to learn more about the organization, awareness is just a good contribution into society. So please do whatever you can, but that's me, I'm Cantor. Back to you, Lindy.
All right, back to me, and then I'm gonna throw it over to our dear Erica.
Hi, I'm Erica Farina, and I'm playing Bloxy, your rough around the edges mechanic, and happy birthday, Lily.
All right, fantastic. And of course, we have my ex-near fiance, Trooper.
It's complicated. I just feel like our Facebook status or global galactic book status. I don't know.
Well, all I know is that the last time Zarina updated, it said single because she thought you were dead.
Oh, wait. So did you break up with me?
Man. Hell.
I'm Trooper SJP, and I am playing Livewire, who is the near ex-fiance, the fiance who faked their death for super reasonable reasons, and faking her death is not at all traumatic or upsetting to the person who was almost her fiance in a super rude and uncaring and very, very rude way, not at all. But that's not what I want to take my time here to do. I don't want to talk about me or the choices that my character made, which were poor choices. Instead, I just want to do a small thing. Is it okay? Can I do a small thing, please?
Of course, Trooper.
Thank you.
If it's not, I'll just ban you afterwards. No,
Sweet.
I'm kidding.
Hey, Lily. Hey, Lily.
Hey, Trooper.
Happy birthday to you. Hey, happy birthday to you. Yeah. Happy birthday, dear Lily. You're beautiful. I mean that. Don't go changing or anything like that. We'll be here all week. Happy birthday to you and many more.
Gosh, that was beautiful. Thank you, Trooper. And I like the creepy sci-fi music happening in the background with it. It was excellent.
The ambiance. I feel like that's the ambiance of the show in general. Like, you've got these things going on, you're like, oh, this is great, and then like there's just this creepiness in the background. So that means I'm gonna throw it over to Alice, who is our GM for this. How are you, Alice?
I am the creepiness in the background, apparently, when it comes to this. But otherwise, a very, very happy birthday to Lily, one of my favorite people. So send her lots and lots of birthday love, and also check out this amazing charity that this stream is for, because it's an amazing cause. Otherwise, I say we dive straight in, and Lucky Livewire goes first. So, Livewire, you are stood in this kitchen. The kettle's just boiled. You've poured the tea and sat opposite one of your sort of kitchen islands on a stool, sipping that tea, smelling. You can see the sort of like the steam coming off of it, and it's a very silent room. As she sits there sipping it, looks at you every now and then, but actually sort of lets her eyes wander and looks around the cabin, and then puts the mug down and looks at you.
And it's that awkward moment, like, where you don't want to really interrupt the person when they're drinking tea, especially somebody who, I don't know, the last time you saw them was shooting someone in the head. So, you know, you don't necessarily want to agitate a person like that. And also the person they shot in the head is also in the kitchen, kind of freaking out. So the whole thing's just seems a little tense. And maybe you just want people to have some tea. You don't want to, you know, just kind of want to let that settle a little bit. But also there's this sort of a little underlying tension, because for all I know, people are coming to get us right now. So, you know, it's just that kind of like, and like after that sort of like pause, should we go? Should we leave? Should we? Also, I really don't mean to pry. I was asked a question about you. I don't also know your name. Or his name. I don't know anybody's name here.
She puts the mug down. It's finished, it's been drained, and she just slides it out of her way.
Do you want a second cup?
No, thank you.
Okay.
And again, she pauses, looks around the cabin. Can I please request that you not record anything I'm about to say?
Of course.
Because last time you did, you were abducted and put into a cloning facility.
Yes, I don't think it was the recording, it was the person in front of me who was... we can talk about that later. I am not recording that. That would be sending a signal out to locate where I'm at, and that would be bad.
Right. Okay. And she sort of turns and looks around, and you can see like her very straight, sort of it's not blonde hair, it's sort of like a mousy brown hair as it falls sort of about her shoulders. She sits very upright and very much to attention, and pauses for a moment, looks back at the man currently still crouched in the corner, who keeps sort of looking at her, and every time they make eye contact turns away. And she leans further onto the counter and looks at you.
Lean back just a little bit. It's just, you know, it's a very slight lean back, but if she's leaning forward, just a little lean back.
She pays no mind to it and just sort of clasps her hands together. Right. They'll be here in 10 minutes. There are some things I need to tell you, mainly mission objectives. You may want to gather your things whilst I do.
I just look at the one thing that I brought with me, which is the other me. I just sort of look at the other me, and then all of a sudden, like, it's this kind of moment where I was like, well, I don't actually have anything. I'm just wearing ridiculous stuff, and there's a me over there. And so there's that kind of a moment where like the initial thought is like, I don't have anything. So that's a weird request. And then this sort of clearly this light bulb goes off in fake Livewire's mind, Memorex's mind. And I immediately bolt up the little sort of wood stairs up to the loft area, which is just like right above, right? Sort of like it's like a one floor sort of cabin, but like that's sort of the attic, like the top part is like a little bit of a loft. And I run up there because that one still has clothes here, not a bunch of clothes, but there's some clothes left in this thing. And so I don't have to necessarily be in the kind of medical outfit that I'm in. So I kind of like bolt up there and I grab like a sort of a change of clothes, and I come back down and I start, and I come back down so that I can, in a space where I can hear her clearly. So you don't want to, like, it might be rude if I'm upstairs while she's talking to me and I'm about ready to take off my shirt. And then I realize I'm about ready to take off my shirt in front of her, which doesn't seem also polite. So then I go back up to the loft and then I just say, I can hear you from up here. And then I get changed so that she does not see me getting changed.
You can hear her, first of all, sort of turn. You hear that squeak on the stool. She turns and looks round at the man sort of crouching, trying to hide, but clearly obviously there. And she chucks something his way. Credits. Now get out. And you hear him sort of quickly scuffle, grab, and he just leaves straight away, closing the door very quietly behind him, but he is moving quickly. And she sort of stands, looks around. Any sort of memorabilia you and Zarina have here, sort of, she's picking it up and looking at it, moving around. She's opening the cupboards and looking at the crockery. She goes and sits on the sofa, and you can hear that squeak as she sort of is like testing how comfortable it is.
Could I ask Lindy a question?
Mm-hmm. No, yes, you can.
Ramos has not been to this cabin since he sort of accidentally faked his death in a deliberate way. And I'm just wondering if Zarina has been to the cabin in the last, is it like three or so years?
I think she tried, like she made an effort to maybe go like, okay, well, I'm just gonna go, like when she was feeling really like reminiscent and kind of wistful, missing you. And then she went and then stayed for a couple of days and then couldn't handle it and just went back home.
Is there evidence of your presence?
Yeah, I think only half of the bed would be made upstairs in the loft. And like maybe like some of her clothes that you didn't recognize because she got them post-mortem, air quotes, of you.
And I just asked because I think that as I'm upstairs changing, as I went upstairs to get, this change of clothes and, a decent pair of shoes or whatever.
Yeah.
I see these things, right? As the woman downstairs, the one in white downstairs, telling this guy to get out. I just see these things, and there's kind of just a bit of a pause as
Yeah, and some of your clothes probably weren't in the drawer. They were probably like kind of like muddled up, like on the bed, like like how you like cuddle with like a t-shirt. Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
There you go.
Thanks. I just wanted to know, like, how much guilt, how much guilt to internalize right now.
Lathered on.
Like all of it. Good. Right. Yeah. So there's just like this sort of like go upstairs to do this sort of change, and then actually really sort of taking in that Zarina has been there. It wasn't the same as the last time we were here, and like there's just kind of that pause as that stuff is happening downstairs before changing happens again.
You can hear her calling up to you when she's talking, but she's still trying to keep her voice quite low. She's sort of moving around, as I said. You can hear her picking things up, knocking things over. She doesn't seem to be doing it on purpose. It's literally just out of curiosity. And she calls up and is, you and Zarina are in trouble.
Obviously.
Yes. She's been followed since your accident.
Wait, that doesn't make any sense.
To you, no. Look, they've cloned you to read and take, and possibly even remove or remake some of your memories. Since they were successful, it's not put you or Zarina in the greatest position. In fact, now, me, you, Archer, and definitely your fiance, ex-fiance. I don't know, what do you call her now?
And I come down and I'm dressed in like imagine what I'm dressed in is what I would have had when I'm up there. So like a pair of jeans, a pair of hiking boots, probably like an A shirt, an A shirt tank top, and like a flannel, like a sort of a flannel button down that's sort of like only partially buttoned. And I probably picked up like a knapsack that I had up there, like one of the like a kind of a backpack. I would have grabbed that, and I'm coming down looking much sportier than I was before when I was like in doctor's outfits, and I could just go and I just start, because I feel like maybe this is what you probably like. I don't know where we're going or what we're doing, but I probably will need protein bars. And so as this conversation is happening, I start sort of pulling sort of protein bars out of our cupboards. And I'm just kind of looking for whatever can be sort of easily takeable. And I've also like pulled in some extra pairs of socks, of course, and underwear, because you always need that. And like a toothbrush. Like I'm like getting like the kind of the, basically my emergency toiletries that would have been here. I'm sort of pulling those in because I have no idea what's going to happen now. I don't know. I haven't spoken to her for a while. I mean, yesterday, I mean, yeah.
Maybe it's something you should bring up with her and not me.
Right. What do you mean they were following her? They didn't know her.
They knew you.
But they didn't know her.
They knew you had a fiance.
They shouldn't have.
No, they shouldn't have.
I didn't actually ask her yet to marry me.
No.
It bothers me that you say no as if you already knew that, as if that were not news to you.
Look, we don't have a lot of time, so if you could just listen.
Of course. Person whose name I still don't know.
Alana.
Also, I'm sorry, how do you transport yourself from one planet to another immediately? Is it some sort of
It's a thing I do.
Are you projecting some sort of illusion? Is this like, are you actually here, or is this like a VR projection of you and you're really somewhere else? I mean, are you physically transforming, or are you manipulating vision? Are you projecting an image here? I'm trying to figure. I'm sorry, somebody asked me this question, and that was my. I realize we have not all of time, but just could you answer that question? Could you just?
She holds out her hand. Touch it. Real. That's
Okay.
enough?
I suppose. Go ahead.
Okay, fantastic. So basically you're in trouble, I'm in trouble, Zarina's in trouble, and Archer is in trouble. They want Archer. They want to do exactly to him what they did to you. And it cannot be allowed. So, objective. To keep things clear, keep Archer safe, and if any of your friends are looking for him, please call it off.
I don't know where he is. I don't think my friends are looking for him. I think his sister is looking for him, but
it's imperative that it doesn't happen, is what I'm saying. Right.
I mean, I cannot control his sister. Just for
I'm not asking you to. I'm just telling you the importance that they don't find him.
Okay, Look, I don't know where he is.
That's a good start. Right. And she sort of looks down at her wrist. We have 7 minutes.
I don't see why they're after me or Zarina. We don't know anything.
You don't think you know anything?
she doesn't know anything. They're just trying to get her to get to me, and I don't know anything. They already know everything they need to know. I don't know why I'm involved in this moment. I'm not a threat to them. I don't know anything, and the things that I know, they apparently already know. So I don't see why they don't just leave us alone.
You don't have to know anything to have seen it. That's the problem. And with that, we will jump over to where Loxy is right now, in the tea house, as it goes. And Loxy, you have Archer sat next to you on one of these low sort of seating areas, and you've got your wing and your arm out, and he is sat there, and you can see this soft glow sort of radiating from his hands as this very sort of calming, almost as if someone was pouring water is what it feels like, running over your hand as he moves it up and down. You can feel every now and then a twinge of pain, almost like something resetting. He keeps glancing over at Hybria, and Hybria gives you a smile every time he does. But you can feel your arm and wing effectively a bit stiff, but definitely fixing up. You realize you can bend it a lot again. You can start moving it. It's tight, but you can flex your fingers. And he sort of looks to you. He's like, there we go. How's it feel? Bend it, get up, walk around with it a bit, flex. I don't know. And I'll do more if it needs it.
So much better, thank you. Is that... How... What kind of healer are you?
Honestly, I don't know. But if I can do it, I'll do it.
That's awesome, thank you.
That's all right. You seem to know, and sort of gestures over to Cantor, him quite well.
Oh yeah, he's a... I guess you could say he's my best friend.
I'm very glad to hear that. I thought he was on his own a lot.
I mean, he is, but he spends his days in my shop, you know?
Like, every day?
Yeah, pretty much.
You can see him smile at that, and he sort of looks back over towards Cantor, and it's like, that's good to hear. I was told, how did you damage your arm exactly?
We fought a giant robot thing with a face.
Oh, okay. Then I'm rather impressed that you only came out with a slightly damaged arm. As he sort of looks at your arm over again, he sort of very delicately holds it just to check, and you can feel like his hands start to warm up, and the pain, sort of the ache, is starting to go away. But he looks back towards the bar, and I'm gonna get some more tea and check on my sister. But you should be fine now. You know? And he sort of does a weird arm movement, almost showing you how to keep your arm moving and bending.
Yeah, thank you so much. I don't know how long it would have taken for this to fix itself.
It's fine. And he sort of hops up and starts to walk towards the bar. Cantor, whereabouts are you sat during this process?
Basically, I would think that he would be kind of in limbo between the different groups, because when he came in, it was, there they are, there's my friend, there's your sister, and then he kind of watched as Archer went to the different, kind of branches of the party. But he'd kind of be standing like at the point of a triangle between like Loxy's position and Hybria's position. Just watching.
Okay. Zarina, where would you be?
She'd be picking up a couple of tea, like, sachets to go.
Mm.
Just to have tea on the road, because these people seem to like tea a lot, and she'd be picking up some Moroccan mint green tea, because, it was somebody she used to know's favorite. Um, and she'd also be picking up some of her favorite, which would be like a Thai iced tea, whatever equivalent that is here, a Marin iced tea.
Okay, so you're sort of stood by the bar picking up these different herbs, these different sort of teas. As
She wants to give the archer people some space because they seem, it seems like a really impersonal moment.
And this is a question about your character sheet because I've never taken it into account. You can sense danger, can't you?
Yes, I can. I am trained in all interactions involving lies and tricky, and I'm also identified in assessing danger. Lies, quality, importance, function, or power. So yes, I can sense danger. I've got spidey senses.
Okay. Whilst you're sort of collecting the tea and you're putting the tea in sort of like the little cases it's been given, and the Taloran behind the bar is very calmly, you can see what looks like he's still clearing up some bits of china and things off of the floor. But you get that feeling, it's more of a sensation like when the hairs go up on the back of your neck. And it's not of anything in particular, but it's like a nagging sense that something isn't right.
Grabs tea, puts in pillowcase, turns to Loxy. I get the feeling we should move, leave, go elsewhere.
Why? What's going on?
Like when you get that gut feeling that like something bad's about to happen?
Yeah.
Yeah, I got that, basically. It's like that.
All right. Loxy will just pop up out of the chair and like look at Cantor.
We should go.
Zarina,
Well?
could you roll me a speed check if you want to find out more?
Sure, I would love to do so, Alice. Just roll that speed check. Oh, that's really good, actually.
Okay, on an 18, only you see this, and you see it for a split second. And in this sort of tea shop, you can see where Loxy was sat with Archer healing. You can see Hybrid up by the bar where Archer is sort of approaching, and Cantor on the other side so that he can keep eyesight of all of them. Outside the window, you see something drift up and away, as if like some form of droid or something.
Like a spy, like a surveillance device type thing. Maybe. And I'll just kind of be like, yeah, there was something in the window and it just left.
Loxy's gonna walk over to Archer. Like, is there somewhere safer we can go?
And Archer is literally about to go to Hybrid, and Hybrid, you feel like his hand on your arm, and he looks to you, he's like, safe? What do you mean we are safe?
I don't know if we are.
What do you mean?
I'll come up behind. Hi, I'm Zarina. There was something in the window and it just left, and I got I don't know if you believe in like gut feelings, but I have like a bad feeling. I feel like we should go.
What's, like someone watching at the window? Or
maybe
people are just nosy here.
but it was like
something...
it went like up. It flew up like not like a bird.
I mean, there's lots of droids here. If that's what you mean, we have a lot of money.
I'm just saying, I have a bad feeling, and I fel like we should move.
Yeah.
Esteemed older brother, I understand that this seems unorthodox. However, I can attest to the fact that we have been followed and attacked multiple times now. So I do believe that if my comrade Zarina here has a bad feeling, that we should probably listen to it. It has been a
Right.
rough couple of days.
Right. Right. Okay. Sorry. And you can see him. He too has got some tea and started sort of scooping
Just
it up, and is looking to all of you like, we can go back to the place where I teach, or there's
maybe
my
a place
house,
you're not.
or
You don't know. You don't want people to
Where
know
others
about.
wouldn't think to look for you.
Yeah. Or you
You
wouldn't
see.
want them to find.
I know a place down on the other side of the market, but
All right.
if it would make you more comfortable.
Yes.
I think so. Sorry.
Right.
I just.
No.
I'll turn to the Marin. It was a
Mhm.
Marin here, right? And just say, "Excuse me, is there a back exit to this establishment?" Perhaps?
And you just see this long sort of neck move round, and it's just, yes.
Do you think perhaps we could use it, esteemed shopkeeper?
He sort of blinks very slowly. Yes. And he just sort of looks. He doesn't gesture towards it. He just sort of looks with his neck, and you can see a curtain, what looks like a back door through to the outside.
All right. Your tea was very good. Thank you very much for your service. We will return, I'm sure, sometime. Credits.
And you can see he doesn't. He's almost like not even acknowledging it as he's slowly gathering up more of these teacups, and seems to be sort of cleaning them out.
All right. Let's
Archer looks at. So we're going up. We're going out the back. Okay. Grab Cantor.
I'll grab George.
George is sat very upright, just by the window still, not moving. Just
Hey, George.
that.
We're gonna move. Let's go.
Okay, and he just does a very awkward crunch as he stands up, and he doesn't really avoid the table. He kind of tries to walk through it at first and sort of starts knocking things over, and you can hear people
We'll just
gasp
slide
at that
over
as
it.
it happens.
Okay. All right.
Where are we going?
On a walk. We're gonna go someplace else. Archer's gonna show us.
Follow Archer. And he just sort
Yes.
of turns and starts walking towards Archer. And Archer started to make his way towards the back door, sort of holding up the curtain and getting people to duck underneath it. Cantor, are you following straight up, or? Yeah?
He would just make sure that everybody was in front of him.
Okay. As you sort of weave through the back, you go past what looks to be just storeroom after storeroom, lots and lots of tea crammed all into this very tiny back room of a shop, shelf upon shelf. You now realize you may have actually been served tea in what seems to be like a storeroom. And as you head out the back, Serena, could you roll me a speed check again, please?
Oh, sure. Can do. That's a 4.
Okay. I will say you're at the front at this point, and there's something you have that nagging feeling again. Like it's not even a tingle, it's just a sense of something is not right. And it's a sensation you had the same day you were in your apartment.
Oh.
And that creature.
Yeah, the feeder.
Where you could feel as if the feeder was in there, but you didn't know where it was. And you're sort of, you've done this almost as if you've gone to approach the back door. It's almost like as you've gone to get hold of the handle, you felt it.
Hesitation.
Yeah.
Just listen.
Okay. Could you roll me an intellect check, please?
Yes, I would love to. I must spend a little effort, I think. Oh, there we go.
Okay.
Yeah, that's basically 6. then.
Okay.
So.
You press your ear to the door, and I would say, I'm assuming, does Zareen have magnified hearing as it is anyway?
Probably a little bit.
Yeah.
She probably can adjust it.
You
Does it turn down low a lot of times?
You turn it up and you sort of press your ear to the door, and you can hear exchanges in a market that sound happy, that sound hyped. The children laughing and playing, and it changes. You hear gasps, you hear almost the opposite. Not as... Almost you sense like uncomfortable sort of feeling, and you can hear voices that sound very shouty, as if they're shouting louder over the market, and you can hear more and more of these what sounds like vehicles.
Uh-oh. Okay. Near to the door, spins around. There are people out there, very shouty people with vehicles. I don't think good. Do we still want to go out the back? They're probably out the front too.
Should we check out the front too? How far away are we from the window?
I just hear it in the market.
Like from the front area?
You'd have to go back into the front area to look out the windows. This is a storage room, so there's not any windows.
I have a feeling
the
they're
back.
going to be coming in through the front, though. Maybe. Unless they didn't want to alert us. They're probably watching the front, if I had to guess. Because that's our last seen position. Maybe we just try to be quiet, sneaky about it.
Like stay in here or sneak out the back?
Like sneak out the back. If they saw us here, they're probably going to search the place.
Mm-hmm. And this establishment is not very big for hiding spots.
No.
No.
So probably they would have put most of their forces in the front, that being our last known position. So if we went out the back, even if we weren't able to sneak as well as we hoped, we could perhaps subdue any one lurking there.
Try to be sneaky. All right.
Esteemed older brother, do you have fighting skills?
I can look after myself, if that's what you mean.
Yes, please look after yourself. I would not like to be separated again after being reunited so shortly. I will also look after you.
Okay. And he, probably for the first time in a very long time, he holds onto your hand, just assuming that's what you mean. So he holds on.
I am sorry. I will probably need this hand for fighting, but I do appreciate the endearment.
Yeah. No, that's fine.
I want to grab anything that could be a weapon.
There's a lot of jars and like metal boxes, metal containers and things like that in here. There's, I guess you could say, a vicious looking broom if you really think about it,
yeah.
but it's like, it's more store cupboard style
If there's
stuff.
like an empty box, maybe make it look like we're just transporting some things. Less.
With this wicked looking
Vicious.
broom.
Yes. Cleanup crew, it's fine.
Yep.
And
Good
then
plan.
once everyone's ready, just
Alice, can I scan out through the door to see if I can ascertain exactly what we're looking at before we go out?
Of course you can. Roll an intellect check for me. This will have to be a 3.
Okay.
this is fine.
Let's see, 3. I'm using effort.
Just sitting there going, we're in danger.
Damn.
I mean, oof. Okay, so what does it look like as you try to fully see what's out there? You see something, but not everything.
I would say with that level of failure that his power doesn't activate. Like
Doesn't activate at all.
he reaches down and touches the ground, and normally where that circuitry mesh would come out, nothing happens. And it's almost like when you like shake a remote control or something, Cantor would, and then put his hand back down, and his eyes would remain the same. Just access to the power denied for right now.
As you sort of normally put your hand to something to do the scan, there's a moment where you hold it there, and it's almost like something's blocking it as well. It's not just the fact that you failed to do it. There seems to be something blocking as well. You can see almost like the sparks of blue try to leave your fingertips, but nothing happens. And you all start to hear that more shouting outside. You hear, get over here, you hear, get in there, and all of these sorts of like very sort of demanding actions.
Yeah, I think it's time to just open the door and quick lay low, get out.
Okay.
Let's be hitting the old dusty trail.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hoodie up.
Literally, as you step out, you see the scene. And the market is now in chaos. You can see above you, these huge sort of vehicles have come crashing down, and they've not just come through the ceiling, they've come from every direction. They're hovering above the marketplace. There are armed guards running through the marketplace, and yes, they're shouting things, but they're grabbing people and pulling them into the vehicles. You can hear what
Official people?
you can spot the supremacy a mile off.
Okay, yeah. Great.
And at the moment right now, you know you can't just make a straight line because people have just grabbed each other and panicked, and it's now the marketplace is just a blur of people trying to not be grabbed.
Do they look like they're being grabbed in like hostile ways or just like crowd control ways?
Some of it looks like crowd control, but you can definitely see that some people are being, you can see that they've got the badges on that maybe, probably Zarina you've seen. It could be a raid on the Broken. It hasn't happened down here because this is a new, it's kind of a new site, so they wouldn't have been down here. They're moving through and they're just grabbing people. They don't even look to be aiming for anyone in particular.
Go. Right. Should we try to, since there are so many of them and they seem to be everywhere, should we try to problems in my experience?
I think that's a good plan B.
Okay.
Yeah. I think we should.
If we encounter
get
some
out
and we
of here.
have to subdue them, then we can take their outfits.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
But I
Archer,
think maybe
where are we
should
going?
just go.
Yes.
Archer looks to all of you and just gestures. You can't really hear you can't hear clearly over this, so he's pointing and gesturing and starting to move through the crowd itself. And you can all start moving in that direction. Could you all roll me a speed check, please, to weave through the masses of people that
And
are
I'm
coming
trying to
through
look
here?
as in distress as everyone else, so it's not like, look at these 5 cool cucumbers just walking through the marketplace. Like, yeah.
Oof.
Nice.
Okay. Okay. So, first of all, Loxy, this is almost being used to your advantage right now. You can weave in between people's legs, especially now your wing is sort of it's still stiff, but you're managing almost like you can see. So you even see that group of children as they are sprinting past, weaving in between legs of some of the adults, or just like ducking and diving, and you manage to do that yourself. And you're coming face to face, but it's almost like they don't look at you, as these supremacy sort of and these watchers start moving through the crowds. They're grabbing people. They are grabbing anyone that looks like an easy sort of target effectively. Zarina, you can take off either in the same direction as like you see Archer sort of sticking to Hybria, but you've been gestured to the way to go. And you too can weave if you're looking panicked.
Yeah, I'm looking panicked, and since they're paying attention to the people and not, I don't know, the vendor stalls, if there happens to be any, I don't know, maybe unattended mods that are just grab and go, I might just yoink some of those on my way.
Roll a speed check to see what you grab on the way off, and I'll
Sure.
do something afterwards.
Nothing. Not great.
Okay.
I'm moving quickly, and I'm like, okay, I look panicked.
It's one of those moments where you're running through the market and things are getting knocked over. People's stuff is being thrown everywhere. Tables are being upturned, and it's almost like you catch something as it slides off one of the tables, and you keep running with it.
Okay.
Hybria, you are just behind Zarina. You see Loxy is taken off. There is a moment where Archer's keeping pace with you, and you can see his eyes darting around to try and see who these people are. And as he does, he grabs your arm and sort of pulls you off to one of the sides where it's not an alleyway, but there's a section where he can sort of pull you behind, and he holds your shoulders. He's like, hide me. You need to hide me, because if I fight, they win.
Okay. How would you like me to do that, esteemed older brother?
I don't know. We just move. We need to move. We need to move fast, and we need to hide.
Okay. Is the place that you're leading us to nearby?
And he sort of points. It's just over the ridge. You're going to find a market square, and past that square there are 2 alleyways, and we need to get there. If we get separated, that's where you head.
Okay. We won't get separated. I won't allow it.
Okay. And you don't go off in a different direction to Zarina and Loxy. It's it's almost like alongside where it's parallel rather than anything else. Cantor, you are almost, how is he? Are you almost like overwhelmed by the amount of people that are around you, but you fall somehow? You get lost in this crowd.
He's keeping focused on Archer, but in his short-term Swiss cheese memory, he keeps remembering that now that he's there, he won't let anything happen to Archer. And so when he falls and hits the ground, that block that he had that was preventing his powers, he forces himself through it. He pushes his mind through that block, and he would push himself up off the ground, but when he would do so, his eyes would be just blistering with blue energy, his hands the same energy, and he would yell over his shoulder as his friends depart, knowing that he has gotten too far behind them, and he would just say, "Go!"
And this voice almost echoes over. You feel like almost like there's a breeze that goes with it, and all of you hear it. And Cantor, as you stand there, these eyes sort of blazing, lots of the supremacists stop and they turn. They don't necessarily see you because of the crowds, but they look in your direction. And Loxy, I need you to make an intellect check, please. Oof. Okay, so you are weaving and it's getting more and more crowded. And as you do, you sort of like trying to weave in between people. You're getting knocked over, and as much as your arm doesn't hurt, it's still stiff. But you do notice that a lot of the supremacy guards seem to be focused in your direction for some reason.
Like me, am I in the same direction as Cantor?
You're way ahead of everyone at the moment because of how fast you're moving. If anything, you could see them behind you off to the side, which means they know it's just you that they're after right now.
Is there a way for me to Are there any machines nearby? Like,
Oh yeah, you're in the market. There are big machines being modded and worked on right now, whether they're industrial, whether they're homebound. There's robots here as well.
I want to try and use my distant activation to activate something big, and hopefully it can like roll in between like us
Awesome.
and the supremacy.
Absolutely. Okay, describe what it roll an intellect check for me. Just it will happen. I just need to see to what extent.
Okay. Nine?
Describe how you're doing it, what it looks like. You can see ahead of you as you're literally passing it at the same time. It's almost like a market stall over, so it's off to the right. It is this huge industrial machine which you know is used for like factory work, where it is used literally just for putting things together, but it is heavy.
Does it have wheels?
It has wheels.
So
Almost like tracks.
I'll 'cause as long as I know how it operates, I can just like, I'm gonna like reach into, as I'm running, just reach into my vest, like hit some of my little switches and buttons on my board. I'll toss my goggles down so I can look and make sure that it's turning on.
Okay.
And I want it to just kind of like rumble, make like a loud noise as it's like moving to either distract or hinder the supremacy from looking at us. And then as soon as it starts making a loud noise, I'm going to try to like bob and weave in the same direction, but not like...
Yeah. Okay.
I want them to lose sight of me.
You definitely, if you roll me another speed check to see if you can lose them. But you can hear this huge machine sort of rumble to life. The person who was trying to move it, because it's part of their stall, seems to have sort of been thrown back. They weren't expecting it to work, let alone effectively come alive on its own. So you can see it start to rumble. It starts shaking off all of the tools that have sort of just been left on top of it.
I spent effort this time.
Yeah. Yep, you got a 5. So it's almost that distraction. They stop as this huge rumble as it sort of jolts at first, and then it just plows and starts heading towards the direction you were in, but it's more in between you and the supremacy. And in that split moment, you can just duck under. You almost see a little group of kids and you just immediately blend in and start running with them. Cantor, I need you to make an intellect check for me as well, please. Just straight up, actually, on this one.
– 17.
Okay. It's almost like this moment your senses are absolutely heightened. It's where you had done that scan before and hadn't worked. It's almost like you're now seeing everything, where you can pick out the blue, almost like outlines of your friends and the people you know. You can see almost like as if it was an outline of Loxy dodging and weaving this huge machine careen through the crowd. You can see Hybria and Archer dash off in the other direction, and Zarina is just taken off through the market stalls, almost running over them as they fall. But you are able to pick up some of the supremacy, not all of them because there's too many, but some of them have almost... Well, they've just ignored you as they've run past, and you hear one of them say, "We need the Osirian. Get her." And they just sort of tear off in the group, and they split up, and they seem to be heading in the direction of Loxy.
So you're telling me, Alice, there is a group of them going after Archer's group, and a group of them going after Loxy?
There are more going after Loxy.
What did you do?
There's no doubt in Cantor's mind that he peels off and chases the group that's chasing Loxy.
Okay, and you can tear off in that direction. Hybria, you're heading down one of the side streets. Archer is right by your side. He is yelling to some people to just run as he goes, as someone almost like reach out to him for advice, and you can see these large vans sort of come down from the side, doors thrown open, and just random people almost just being picked up and thrown in and immediately going back up again. And I will say you can see Zarina, and Zarina, I'll say you can see Hybria and Archer from this point, and you too notice this. And the one thing that you notice, I'll say because you recognize it, are the droids that are dropping down, which you suspect one of them alerted your whereabouts, but they seem to be scanning the crowds and they are looking for someone in particular.
Oh, okay, dokie. That's not great. How many of these droids are there? Dozens, I assume.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, no. All right. Good
Can
to know.
I figure out who they're looking for somehow? Like, can I overhear something or?
The droids aren't making a sound, but is there another way you'd want
to? Maybe see if they're gravitating in one direction or another, or if try and insight their intent.
I roll me an intellect check. This will have to be a 3.
Okay. And because of my driven skill, I think this relates to my goal of keeping my brother safe. So I think that knocks that down to a 2 because I've edge. Oh, yay, success. 16.
Okay. You notice that a lot of these droids are honed in over one area where Loxy was further ahead than you. You notice there's quite a few over you. Just as not like they've spotted you and they're following you, and you can see some further back and just picking people up, almost like taking them literally up into the sky and putting them in higher up level platforms. But the thing you do notice is not a single one will go near Zarina.
Interesting. Okay, so we're running along here. Archer's by my side. I'm gonna I don't know, flip open my phone. I don't know what our communications device is. I know we were texting at one point, but whatever it is that I have, I want to call Zarina and just be like, I think that they're going after Loxy. They seem to be avoiding you. I cannot leave Archer behind. I don't know. That's just all that I've seen right now.
I guess
Archer
I'll go find Loxy if they're avoiding me. Okay,
good luck. Archer and I are going to, and I'll relate the directions that Archer gave me.
Meet you there.
Good luck. And me and Archer will keep gunning for the meetup spot.
Okay. Around all of you, left, right, and center, it's chaos. People are falling over. You're almost having to jump over people. Every now and then, like, you see Archer just pulls someone up and then lets them keep going. He doesn't drag them along with you, but he keeps going. I will say, Cantor, on your run through as you're running, you spot Fliss. You can see her sprinting, almost weaving through things as well. She seems to have what looks literally like a lead pipe in her hand, and she is swinging for anything that is grabbing hold of someone. You can see her as she's sort of sprinting alongside. She hasn't seen you at all. She is focused on, you can actually see there is a young man that looks like he's about to be dragged into one of these vans, and you just hear a horrible crack sound as like metal hits like helmet, and this guy drops, and she keeps going. She doesn't stop, she just keeps going. Could you roll me another intellect check, please? This one needs to be a 2. Okay. You notice as you're running, as much as you're still focused on Loxy, you can see Fliss sprinting, and she's just careering through this as it does. She's obviously caused a problem because you can see 2 of the guards now chasing her, and you know that they will grab her in the next few seconds.
Okay, so for the first time, Cantor's going to try to, well, he's going to use multiple things. Through the scan, can I cast a resonance field around Fliss to basically put a force field up around her? And
Yeah,
if I can do that, then he's also going to attack the 2 that are chasing.
Okay, roll an intellect check, just to see how effective I will say the field around Fliss is, and see how long it will last. Okay, describe what it looks like as Cantor does this, and what it is. You see her running, and she's almost come to a halt as one has come up in front of her, and these other two, one of them has come across as if they're going to grab her around the back, and you can see a van come down and land.
As he doesn't have to touch the ground, but as he's running, as each of his boots hit the ground, that pattern goes out around. It's almost like he's walking on the circuitry, and it spreads out and envelops Fliss. And for a moment, that circuitry is like a woven egg around her of these bits and flying code. And then it solidifies and disappears. And there'd be like a faint shimmer on Fliss's form, like you're looking at kerosene or heat off of a pavement. You know, it just got a bit of a fume to it.
Okay, you can do that as they go to sort of grab her. She sort of turns, and it's almost like that's when it hits. And first of all, there's this pulse that almost like radiates from her, and one of them is literally sent flying back by your movements towards her, and they crash into a couple of other people, just sending it to the floor. And she sort of looks down at her hands and looks back over to you, and almost uses it just to swing at the knee of the other guard that was trying to get hold of her.
Can I help by using Onslaught on?
Absolutely. Roll for me.
Nice.
I gotta find it. I've never used it.
It's a good one.
Onslaught's good.
And then good, I can spam it. This one, that dude. Yeah, I'm gonna keep going.
Okay. You...
Yeah, 16.
Yeah. You inflict some serious damage on one of them. So what's it look like? You see Fliss almost comes and presses her back against yours. Now she's been given this shield almost. As you see her adjusting her grip on this pipe, and she swings at the same time as you attack the one in front of you. So it's almost like tag teaming. What does it look like for Cantor?
Well, as he spins in and as he's expending more and more of his energy with the scan going out, with the resonance field around Fliss, and now with this onslaught, which is basically his hands kind of blade a bit, and his feet continue to have that same quality as his hands. But when he gets close, he just fires a couple, I mean, they look like martial arts strikes, as he takes a knee into the stomach area, and then an elbow, and then a combination of blows as the person is being lifted off. But as more and more of this blue emits from him, and as he and Fliss are kind of back to back, he would kind of over his shoulder say, "Hurry up, we have to get to Archer." And then he would look down and say, No, don't let me use my powers. And then he would say, "We got this, we can do it."
She looks to you sort of wide-eyed and very, very confused. She's, "Oh, which one is it?" Like, as she's sort of like holding this pole, as another one comes in and just crashes it across the next person who walks past, sort of tripping them up.
At this point, Cantor would, if he can like kind of hook her, he would almost lift her up onto his back, and he's going to try to break through them and run, pumping more and more of his power out as he does so.
Yeah, I'll say you can definitely lift her up. You've just pushed all of these people away. She lets you lift her up. She is almost like sat on your back. You could feel her legs sort of wrap around your chest, sort of hooking at the end of the toes. She's got one arm sort of around your shoulder and your neck, but she has got this pole out, and literally as you're running, she is just trying to hit as many of these things on the way past. Hybria, you are running with Archer, and Archer is almost taking you down these alleyways, trying to take it as hidden as possible. And you head through this market space before he sort of comes to a skid in this alleyway, and you see three of these supremacy sort of come towards you, and you can see these huge sort of assault rifles and these batons that they've got, and they start to approach.
there was something that I wanted to do but didn't really have a chance to. But while we were running, I would have been looking for like spare coats, umbrellas, something that I could have like thrown over Archer.
Yeah, there's like washing lines, there's stores, you can literally throw anything as you go, you can tear. It's a real mismatch, but you can definitely hide that it's him.
Cool. Okay. So yeah, whatever it is, just cover him up. And then the 3 supremacy, are they like approaching us? Like they're gonna take us, or?
You're not too sure. They do seem focused on Archer, but they look confused because of what you've covered him in. You think they're almost trying to check if it is the person they're after.
And we're in an alleyway, so there's buildings next to us.
There's buildings.
Are there doors?
There is a door on one side of you on the right-hand side. You'd have to sprint towards it to get in there before they reach it. It's almost like in the middle of the alleyway.
That's what I'm gonna try and do. Just keep putting space between them and us.
Okay,
and like grab Archer and like pull him with me. Okay, cool. Speed. And
beat
then...
a 2 to get in there first.
Okay, cool. And I have edge, so nice success.
Yeah. Okay, so it's a split second moment that you manage to get in, and you can just about slam the door. There is a pressure against it, but both Archer manages to hold it up, so it gives you time to lock it. But you can hear thumping on the door, and as if someone is trying to get in.
Okay. What's the situation of where we are?
You're in someone's house. There's no one in here.
Oh.
But this is definitely someone's back door through to a kitchen, and you can see through. There's a kitchen door, goes out into the living room, back out onto the street. And I will say you can probably guess they know that.
Okay.
There is also a set of stairs going up.
Yeah, I'll go up the stairs and see what there is to be seen there.
Okay, you can sprint up the stairs. It seems to be just simple bedrooms laid out, but you can see lots of windows. And Archer is already heading to the windows, opening them up, and hanging out of them to see if he can get up onto the roof.
Okay, cool. I will follow, but I'm also gonna run into the kitchen and, because I just have my broom right now, which is not gonna do too much good. Does the kitchen have like knives? Maybe a big one of those meat tenderizer hammers would be good.
Why not? It's your birthday. You can have a meat tenderizer.
Yay.
There you go. You can definitely grab one of those. You can see Archer already a little bit ahead of you because he sprinted straight upstairs, but when you get up there you can see him opening, and he sort of gestures to you to go up, and it's almost you see his feet disappear as he holds out and pulls himself up onto the roof.
Cool. I will follow him.
Okay. Zarina, whereabouts are you headed right now?
Well, I'm trying to look for a very short individual.
Yes, you are.
So, I feel like some height to look down would be good. So, I'm just gonna far step up to the top of a roof.
Yep, you can do it. What does it look like as Zarina actually moves, especially with all of
she
the
hasn't
mods?
Jumped up much yet. She's done a lot of jumping across and around. So, she kind of puts her feet in almost like a fighting taekwondo stance. But then the heels kind of go down and compress almost into the concrete beneath, and then spring up, and there's probably a little indent left in the ground as she jumps up onto the roof.
Yeah, you almost feel like the part of the metal roof sort of bend as you land, but you manage to get up there. I will say from this point, you look out and you can see how many people are just being taken. They're being taken, they're thrown in vans, and the vans are immediately leaving. So it's not like they're not taking their time with it. You also see a lot of what they're calling the broken. Some others have got straight up onto the roofs, but you can see they're the more heavily modded ones that are just climbing the walls almost like spiders as they try and get away from these things.
Get away. Yeah.
Could you roll me an intellect check of 3 to try spot Loxy, please?
And for some reason, they're leaving me alone. That's fine. Yes.
Okay. You you sort of have that moment. What's it look like as Zarina? Does Zarina move, or is Zarina literally staying there?
I think she gets onto the roof and then goes over to the edge, the edge, and kind of gets low, make sure that hoodie's pulled up, because Hybria said they weren't looking for her, but that's not been her experience with the Supremacy so far, so she's just playing it safe. So hoodie up, Batmaning it on the roof, and then looks for Loxy, and when she sees Loxy, she's gonna message, just call through. Loxy, they're after you for some reason. I don't know. I'm up here on this pawn shop roof. I know that's not very descriptive, but I see you and I'm head to your left.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Why do you... I saw them looking at me. I don't know what's happening.
They're looking for you. I don't know why. And for some reason they're ignoring me. Maybe it'll balance out.
I hope so.
If they're avoiding me and looking for you, I don't know. Let's try it. I'll jump down off the roof towards her. As I told her which direction to head. So
Okay.
Yeah.
So Lox, you've just received this message, and you can beeline for left as to where Zarina has told you to go. I would say you were weaving through these groups again. They don't seem to be. You don't know if you're being confused for a child or for someone else, but it's more down this way. Is more towards the housing area. So this is just floods of families trying to get out and just sort of lose themselves amongst this maze of this city. I will say off to your left, you see one of the vans come down, and you recognize a voice as you see this very small Assyrian with a metal wing screeching and scratching as these two people are pushing her into this van. And she's like, get off! As there's like these slashes, you can see a scratch go straight across one of their faces as she is shoved into this van way off to your left. You can see it almost like you're looking down an alleyway. It's almost by chance that you've seen it.
I'm gonna put some buttons in my vest and I want their van to turn off.
Roll an intellect check for me, please.
Just want to power it down.
Yeah.
It looks like your starter's broken. Weird.
How do you make it power down? Like, what is the look on Loxy's face as this happens? You can see this little Osirian, she's fighting, like she's really going for it.
And Loxy's just like, hell yeah, I got you, girl. And she just like flips a couple of more switches in her vest to try and shut the van down from afar. And the van, I assume, is it like hovering? Is it like on the ground?
It's currently hovering. Just above the ground, not like fully high up at the moment.
So Loxy would target the little like hover part of the van, so it would just like hit the ground as they're trying to load the little Assyrian in.
You've got that moment where you can see it judder and it just, and even some of the dust, because it's a very dusty area, just sort of erupt up. And they're sort of, one of them is literally trying to pull her off of him at the moment as she's really trying to fight back, but there's two of them. They're still trying to get her in there, but you can see one in the front like frustratingly trying to get the van to work and nothing is happening.
And I'm gonna keep running.
Okay, let's have a look. As you were running, I need you to make an intellect check of 3 for me, please. Okay, definitely. So you're sprinting through. In fact, you can hear the doof 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 of Zarina's boots on the metal sort of like rooftops overhead. You can just about see the blue, the flash of blue from her mask and her hair come tearing above you. You're sort of looking through people. And then you notice sort of coming down one of the alleyways is a group of the Supremacy, and you see them just point towards you, and you're there as they come almost careering through this crowd towards you. What would you like to do?
I will start running. I'm gonna try to lose them. I want to try to like try to duck into like an especially crowded section, maybe if there's like a group nearby.
Cat door, anything small.
Yeah.
Roll me a straight up speed check, please.
We haven't had like any rests, have we?
No, we haven't.
Difficulty 3.
Okay. You sprint forward. And at that, I think we will hop back over to Livewire. And Livewire, You have this moment where you are
them though. I'm just worried about them. I don't like the point. You know, just hey, everybody over there, be okay.
You are sat opposite. Not sorry. She is sat on this thing, looking at you as she has just told you this information. And it's like, also, another thing. You're in touch with a man you know as Cantor. Their you should know their amnesia is intentional and by their own design, and it must be maintained.
Okay, you are asking me to do things that I don't have control over. You know this, right? Like I'm not a brain surgeon or
No.
Should we get walking?
I'm asking you that if he tries to find out anything, you prevent it.
Okay. Should we start walking? You said we have like 6.5 minutes, right?
Yes, plenty of time. Do you have any more of those protein bars? As she sort of starts to look around.
Yes. Do you want mint or would you like peanut butter?
Oh, peanut butter.
Of course. It'll go and like pull out one of these boxes, and he hands her 2 because they're important. All right. All right. So, what do I do about?
What?
Then I point to the other me.
And she does acknowledge and looks at it like, well, what do you want to do with it?
Get rid of it?
How do you want to get rid of it? Could you just leave it here?
Would it be really bad if they got that one back?
I don't know. What do you think? They probably know all that he has to know by now.
I only know what he knows.
And she tilts her head to the side. Anyway, as I said, we are on limited time. I stress again, Cantor's amnesia is intentional. The Supremacy want the man he used to be more than they want Archer.
Okay.
Which we have to be very clear on. So it's important that that man, the Cantor from before, remains dead. But then you would understand that. You know, to be clear, as I was before, second objective, Cantor must not remember, and he must not be caught under any circumstances.
So I feel like there are a couple of problems with your theory, with the mission objectives that you're giving me. I feel like there are a couple of problems here. One is, first off, I don't control other people's actions. That's one. Two, they're chasing us, right? I mean, I don't know if you know this, but they are actively chasing us. They are shooting us in the streets. They are trying to kill us in a hospital bed. They're sending people after us. I don't know what they're going to send after us. They might send a photograph or something to Cantor that'll spark his memory. And there's nothing we can actually do about that. We're not in control of what these other people do.
They already tried the photo method, and sadly, yes, it did slip by.
Well, see, there you go. This is what I don't know. And maybe his memory, I don't know. I've been in a hospital bed for almost the entire time, and then I was here. It's not like I'm super keyed into public events right now. I can't control everything, right? I tried to control things. I tried to make things work out. I learned that I have no control over the events that are happening in my life. You want me to do these things. You want me to save some guy that I've never met before. I don't know what he looks like. I don't know where he is. You want me to go and make sure that Cantor keeps his amnesia. How am I supposed to do that? I can't even keep Zarina safe at all, because apparently they knew about her
That's why I'm telling you now. These are my objectives, and I'm just hoping you will adhere to them and not, maybe help me a little bit.
That's real great. That's real great.
Thank
Who are these people? Who are the 13? I'm sorry, the 12. Who are the 12? 13's a baker's dozen. I don't know what's happening. I don't know how they know things that they should not know. I don't know when this body that I'm in right now was invented. Am I only a month old? Is that what's happening right now? I don't know who they are. I don't know what they want. How am I supposed to help you when I don't have the information that I need? I don't even know who you are. I don't know what your agenda is. I don't know if you are I know you're an assassin. That's something I know. I don't know anything else about you. I don't know why I should trust you.
Don't you trust me?
I don't know you.
Well, no, it's a very perfectly and very logical thing and very intelligent to not trust me.
You're also avoiding my interview questions.
Well, what question would you like answered? Hurry up, though. We've only got 4 minutes.
Who are the 12? What do they want?
Officially, I don't know exactly who the 12 are. If anything, I've heard of them.
Are they people? Are they organizations? What is it?
I believe they are an extension of the supremacy. In fact, I believe they are higher than the supremacy. And yes, I believe they are people.
Okay. What do they want?
Archer.
Why?
Because of what he can do.
Which is?
And she sort of pauses for a moment and holds up her hands, and you can see these lights sort of spark up in the palm of her hand and start to rotate them around.
Is that VR that you're doing right now?
No. I don't fully know what it is, other than that it belongs because I have the Aether's gene.
The Aether's gene. What is that?
It's a gene.
Clearly.
Yes. So why are you asking the question?
I'm sorry my interview's not going very well right now. I'm a little stressed. That looks like magic, but only Osirans can do magic. So what are you doing?
Well, if it looks like magic and it looks like the thing you think it could be, it probably is that.
But only Osirans can do that. So why can you do that?
Well, clearly, not only Osirians can do it.
You are not helpful. So
I'm not here to be helpful. I'm here to get you out of here.
Great. So am I supposed to assume that the supremacy can Archer do magic?
Yes.
All right. So I'm going to assume then that the supremacy wants humans who are unmodded, I assume you're unmodded, who can do magic because they want to do magic. They want to destroy magic. Can give me something. Come on. Why?
Okay. You're asking a lot of questions for someone who only has 3 minutes until we need to get moving. But yes, I understand your questions, especially being a reporter and everything. Whatever it is, it's not good. And if they get hold of us, what happens if they make a clone of Archer?
Okay. So, all right, this is about cloning. So maybe they want to have some sort of magical human army for some reason. Something like this. People like this always want clone armies, and I don't know. All right. I don't know what I can do to help, but if I can stop a shadowy conspiracy from getting the things that they want, I will try to do so. But I do not control anything at all. Okay. But also, I feel like I'm compromised. I feel like I'm not useful. They have all the information. If the only thing that I had was secrets and they now have them, then I don't know. I don't see how I'm not a liability, or that one is.
And she sort of looks at you, looks you up and down, looks over at the other you sort of laying out on the stretcher. They believe they have everything they need to know about you. They know nothing of what I just told you, what I know.
And why did you tell me? Why did I ask? I asked because I didn't. Ugh.
Because of your fiance. You're connected.
Can I ask perhaps the most important question? I know we don't have time. But this is the most important question I can ask you, and if you know the answer, please tell me.
Of course. And she sort of takes another bite out of the protein bar and looks at the ingredients.
There's no meat products in that protein bar. You're safe if you're thinking about that. Listen, why do they want her? I've tried to work this out. Why are they after her? She hasn't done anything at all to harm anyone. She's just the most caring person who has never done anything to deserve this. If this is my fault, I will accept that this is on me and it should be on me. I don't know why they're after her if it's not because of me. And if it's because of me, can you erase the last this whole conversation, and then I can just go to them. You can just wipe my whole thing and I can just go to them and they can just take me and then she'll be safe, right? I mean, it's not fair. It's not fair that they're going after her, and she never did anything to anyone. She's only been kind and supportive. She's never hurt anyone.
And she sort of freezes, not taken aback, but definitely taking in every single thing you say. It's not fair. Nothing in this situation is fair. On me, on you, on her. And honestly, I don't fully know why she's involved, but I am aware that she has been followed since the very beginning.
Do you think that if you could just wipe my brain and that one's, and we turned ourselves in, that she would be safe?
Oh, I can't do the wipe mind thing. He does that.
Great. What's the point of your magic if you can't do that?
And she sort of tips her head to the side. It's like, you have a very limited sense of what people can do if they can't do that.
That's the thing that I need, though.
What do you do?
I don't do anything.
Then you're perfect. They won't look for you.
That's not true, because they have been. And apparently, they made a clone of me.
And she looks down at the clone again.
No. I'm the clone. That's the actual me.
No, I know, but you're the one awake and walking around.
Yeah.
How do you feel about being a clone?
Well,
I'm interested.
A lot less better than I did 15 minutes ago.
It doesn't mean it's a bad thing.
Well, apparently, if you kill the original, the clone feels it, so that's not great.
And she sort of looks aside for a moment as if lost in thought. But you don't die.
Who doesn't die?
You.
Of course I die. I would cease to exist. That's death. We're getting really philosophical when they're coming. Look, if I die, I die. I will, like, I feel alive. I feel alive. I have thoughts. I have memories. I feel like a person. And I understand that apparently I'm not a person, that I'm not real. But I know that if I'm destroyed, I will stop being here for that one who did terrible things. And I didn't do those things.
Who told you that? Of course
What?
You're alive. Your material, and she sort of walks over and she doesn't push you hard, but she like taps your shoulder. Is like, you're solid, real, as she reaches out her hand again.
Right. And if I'm killed, then I'm dead.
Well,
I'm dead.
if someone shoots you and she prods you in the chest, is like, yes.
Right. I don't want to die.
Then don't. How do you think? And she goes to look to where the man was, and then remembers she told him to clear off. Is like, he's still alive.
Yeah. I should be alive.
You are alive. What are you determining as alive?
You're asking how I feel about it, right? I
Yes.
feel like I have a chance. I have a chance because I didn't do any of those things that one did. Like, I can be somebody better than that one. I'm a fresh start, and that one is there in the way. That's the one that's causing all those problems.
Okay, then have a fresh start.
But that one's in the way.
Why is that one in the way?
Because that one's going to wake up and it's going to try to do whatever it's going to do.
And she sort of looks over to it. And back again. Why haven't you killed it already?
It's a good question. I don't know.
Why can't two of you exist?
And I just look, my eyes gaze over to a framed photograph on like a little table, like a little side table, where there's a photograph of Zarina and Ramos sort of smiling, like, that like one arm around the other, sort of smiling, clearly taken in the woods somewhere. And I just sort of look at that photograph.
And she sort of follows your gaze and looks back at you. Follows your gaze and then back.
We can't both exist in her life.
Well, make him disappear. Happened to the other one, the one who's left now.
Yeah. But what if...
Would it help if I killed him?
Yes. Yes.
Interesting.
But what if she couldn't love me and she can only love that one? Then it wouldn't matter if that one's dead or not.
Well, what do you think? You know better than I do.
I've never actually met her, it turns out. And she doesn't know me. This is really...
Weird. Mm-hmm.
Also, this is not the point. I don't know what I'm supposed to do. Am I supposed to sacrifice myself for that one? So that they can be together? Should I get rid of that one so she could be with someone who wasn't that one?
It's interesting how you go for the moral side of things quickly. What do you want? Like, what do you actually want?
Me?
Yes, you. There's no one else in here. Yet.
What if the things I want are not the things that I want, or just the things that one wants? How do I know that what I want is even what I want?
You sit down and have a good old think about it.
Well, I have 3 minutes, so I don't have time for that. I can distract them. You know that, right? Like, I set up a beacon. I can distract them.
I understand that. But they tracked you here, not me.
Right. That's what I mean. I can distract them because I can make them think I'm somewhere else, like just a couple miles away. That would give us time, wouldn't it?
Yes.
To get out of here?
And she sort of looks out the window. We have about a minute.
We should go. You're not coming with me. That's what this is about. You're just going to dematerialize. Right. Okay.
You think I'd just leave you in the middle of that?
Yes.
Really?
Yes, I do. Yes.
After I just told you all of that, you think I'd just dematerialize and leave you here on your own?
Yes.
Huh. And she sort of looks over and takes another bite out of the protein bar. Well, I'm not going to. Because they definitely kill you if I wasn't here.
We should probably walk out, right? We should walk out.
And then have them spring a surprise on us in a dark wood.
Oh, okay. So when you said we had 10 minutes, you didn't mean 10 minutes so we should leave. You meant so that we could be attacked. so I should have used these 10 minutes to make booby traps? I'm gonna just say my day's not going well. That's what I'm gonna say. It's not been a good day. That's it. It's not been a good day.
I've had better days.
I would pull out a protein bar. I'm just gonna have a protein bar. I think I might need it. I need to.
She takes another bite and sort of just
blood sugar levels up.
It'll be good for the run afterwards.
Okay. Should I start my beacon now and maybe we could try sneaking out?
There's no point sneaking out. If surrounded the house.
You are not actually helpful. I don't know if anyone's told you that. You're not helpful.
What do you deem helpful? I came here to get you out, didn't I?
But then why did you wait until this? You know, I don't understand you. I don't understand your logic. I don't know if you have logic. Yeah.
What would you do?
I would have come up and said, hey, we need to leave right now. And then I would have left, all of us together as a group, leaving in a sneaky way before they got here.
But now I know how many there are. Because they're in a closer proximity now. And she takes another bite.
How many are there?
About 8.
8. Great. Are you here because you think my friends are dangerous? Is that what this is? Are you just telling me this so that I can go and tell them to just stop doing everything, and then we just stop doing everything, and that's not going to stop them from chasing us? I mean, you know that, right? I mean, apparently they're also, why did it start now? Why now? I've been under cover for a couple of years now. Why did it start now? What's the trigger? What happened? What put this in motion? If I can understand the mechanisms that started, and I can maybe understand how to undo it or where they're going to come next. I don't know why it's happening now.
And she looks at you and takes another bite. Shrugs. To be honest, I don't really know either.
Again, you're not helpful.
Not my
I look
fault.
around. I pick up my sport bat.
Good. You're gonna need that. And she sort of shoves the last of the protein bar in her mouth. These are really good.
Actually, they're our favorite brand. They are really healthy. They're organic. They're done by a company that is ethical, and they don't outsource. They treat their workers really well. I did all the research, and it's a smaller company, and by eating them, you know, you're
yeah.
I'm not really healthy right now.
Do you want another one? And holds out a protein bar from the packet you just given.
Mine. Well, if both of us die, I don't mean you'll just pop out of here. I mean that one and I. At least we can't hurt them if they capture us. Hey, do you have like a cyanide pill or something so if they do capture us, we could just, you know?
You're very pessimistic.
Have you?
Do you have one?
No, I do not have one.
Then why would I have one?
I mean, normal
What's
person.
this? What's this? I'm not normal?
No. You're an assassin who dematerializes and materializes on other planets. That is clearly not normal.
Why did you decide I was an assassin?
Because you murdered someone in front of my friend's shop?
What, murder someone one time and you declare I'm an assassin?
Yes. I mean, I could call you a murderer instead, but I just feel like murderers are not as professional as you are. So take it as a compliment.
Okay. And she just nods, and she sort of slides off of the stool, stands upright, and sort of brushes herself down, getting rid of all the protein bar crumbs sort of off her lap.
I am not an assassin, by the way. Just so.
Oh, I know. Yeah. Have you ever killed anyone?
Myself?
Properly, I mean.
No, I haven't.
Okay. And to be fair, you didn't do that right either. No offense.
I will take it up with Sleaze and tell him that his service leaves something to be desired.
Sleaze. Oh, that real slimy guy?
Yes.
That's
You
your
know
friend?
him. No, he is not my friend.
Okay. Things say otherwise. And she sort of moves across towards the door, and she stands in front of you. Okay. We have about 30 seconds. Do you want to get your bat ready?
I'm ready. How am I supposed to take him with me too? And Solly.
I'm sorry, what?
Solly.
Who's
the Solivac? My only friend who actually likes me for me, and not because he thinks I'm that one.
You can take the Solivac if you want. I'm not stopping you.
No. How am I supposed to take 2 things out of here when we've got 8 people? We've got 20 seconds. All right. I'll just.
Do you really want to take the other you with you? Why don't you just leave it here? I'll come back for it later if it's that important to you.
The point is, I just spent all this time getting that one out. They clearly want that one. That one's important to them. And if they want that one, then I can't let them have that one. If we're supposed to be frustrating them.
Okay, take a breath. Okay. We good? We calm?
It's fine. It's fine. I'm ready. I'm not calm, but I'm ready.
Great. And she turns and puts her back towards you. And
It's not good.
No, but it is about to get worse.
That's what I meant.
Okay. And at that moment, the glass in all of your cabin just shatters. You can see all of the windows burst, and this just glass shatters and sort of falls and tinkles onto the floor. You see these people just come crashing through into your cabin. They're wearing these sleek, black, almost obsidian-like helmets that come into a point where their chin would be. And this visor of this orangey red light just sort of ignites across the surface as their heavy black, sort of these industrial boots hit the floorboards of your cabin. And you can see, almost even in this dull light, they train their assault rifles immediately onto Alana, and the lasers just fill the rooms. You see dots all over her, all over you, over every single section of this house. And that is when her very calm demeanor changes. Almost in a moment, she drops that end of the protein bar, and that packet just slowly falls to the ground as she almost launches herself and pounces forward, and emerging, these blades of light sink into the chest of this assailant, destroying the chest plate all across as if it was slicing through paper. And then you can hear you almost want to clamp your hands over your ears as these shots fire out. At first it feels like it's in every direction with how loud it is, and in one fluid movement she sweeps her hands up to the sides, and these blades sort of expand, almost like a flash of white light, as they expand into these 2 huge discs of yellow light, deflecting the bullets as it goes. And you can see these other 2 almost get thrown. One of them goes crashing over your kitchen island and sort of back onto the glass as more start coming in. The door is burst off of its hinges, and you see 2 of them start to move towards you very, very quickly as she has taken it upon herself to just start plowing through these people. What are you doing? The Solivac immediately clings to your back.
With bat at ready, I just reach out to touch her, in what seems like a protective gesture, while I shout, "Hey, it's me you're looking for," to them to sort of draw their attention towards me. But my action is actually to set up a mental link with her, so that we can communicate regardless of distance, no matter where we are. So it's just like a tapping, I don't, she's probably gonna disappear on me. I'm gonna just tap in so that we can always talk for the next hour at least.
Okay.
That will be my action, but I'm gonna, I'm trying to draw their attention towards me, not towards her. Although clearly she does not need that protection, but it's fine. It's fine.
As you sort of reach out and sort of touch to make the connection, could you roll me a mic check, please?
I can. I get an intrusion.
Oh, my favorite.
I get an XP.
Yes, you do. There's a moment as you sort of reach out and you make that connection, you see her turn and look towards you, realizing sort of what you've done in that moment. And this you hear a gunshot fire as she gets struck in the shoulder after turning to look at you from the one that got chucked over the side of the kitchen island. She sort of yells out, and one of these blades, you see her flick her fingers, and this light shoots across the kitchen and sinks straight through the helmet and out the other side as this person drops down. But using that moment, you feel two heavy arms come around. This person is big. You feel how big they are as they wrap their arms sort of around your shoulders and trying to keep your arms down, and they start to pull you out. I will also say that you can tell they are not just here for you.
I say, because my action is done, but I say to her, "Run!" I know that's not going to work out, but
she looks to you and gives you a bit of a look and clasps hold of her arm, her shoulder, which you can now see blood is mainly because she's wearing white. It just sort of seeps very, very quickly, and she starts walking towards the one that is holding onto you, but herself is trying to fight off the ones coming back. What would you like to do? Because they're trying to drag you out the door.
Yes. Is it my action again?
It is.
I am going to say, "You have to get out of here. You know we only have a few seconds before the bomb blows." And I would like to use my minor illusion to craft an image, right, of a small bomb in the corner of like underneath the table, with the counter, the countdown counter that's ticking, and I'm going to sort of indicate that with my head, hopefully so that they will see it, and see that there's there's an imminent danger that is neither one of us.
Okay, roll an intellect check just to see how long it lasts and everything as well. Okay. Not long it lasts, how effective.
Yes, it is an intellect check, but I don't have to pay for it. But I actually have an advantage, so I'm going to use one of my advantages on this one.
Roll just a 2. No, sorry, a 3 to get to this.
Okay, I'm going to roll twice. That's an 8, and then I'll roll my second time. Eight. No.
Oh. You have this moment where you're really trying to concentrate as you're bringing it up. It almost distracts you for a moment. You achieve it. You hear a scream from the person you're wrestling with because they didn't realize there was a Solovac on your back, which has turned around and just sort of clamped itself to this assailant, but in a much less friendly way as to how it would hold you. You can see this illusion come up. Some of them start to seem to panic and point and gesture towards it. She is trying to now mainly block. You can see her yell as she sort of keeps her tries to keep the shoulder out of the way, but she's fighting them back and she's trying to get towards you, and she reaches forward with her good arm and just pulls you forward, and you're quite shocked at how strong she is. She literally grabs you by like the collar and drags you and throws you towards the door. And as that happens, you see almost this blade of light sort of appear on the side of her arm as she just slashes straight across this one who was holding you. And this Solovac is very slowly, I'll point out again, making its way towards you. And you can hear the words in your head. She doesn't move her lips, but she looks straight at you and says, "Run."
She's
I will
bleeding.
say, where you've been thrown, you've kind of rolled onto one of the first ones she's killed, so you can see where the visor's switched off. There is a man the other side, and he is very, very bloodied. He's not moving.
He's got a gun.
He has.
I take it, and I will shoot these other ones rather than run, because I cannot leave someone in a situation like this.
Roll me a
injured.
speed check, please. I want to
Okay.
see how accurate you are.
Well, it's a different question altogether. Speedy is not my forte.
You do still have advantages at a crit.
I do. I'm gonna take. I have one crit and I will use it. I will use my one crit to shoot at these people because she will not sacrifice herself for me. That is not gonna happen. So I will use my crit.
Okay.
If anyone's gonna sacrifice themselves for someone else, it's me for her, not her for me.
You can see that 3 of them have got hold of her and they're trying to force her down onto her knees. And she's really fighting. You can see one of them is purposefully gripped into her and is really trying to like push her down with that one. And she is yelling, and you can see as you sort of rolled towards this, you've seen the gun. You also see the furniture starting to shake and starting to levitate the more stressed she seems to get. Describe what it looks like as you take out almost the 3 of these men holding her.
What I do is I roll over and I pick up this, I see the gun, I see her, it's almost in slow motion, and the thing that strikes me the most is all of the blood seeping down this sort of white outfit, which I remember it being a little bit flowy. And I just sort of, and it's like I see the future, and in the future I see her being shot or killed. And I see myself seeing it, not being able to do anything to stop it. And then I see the gun, and I just drop the bat, and I see Saleh coming, and I grab this gun, and I swing it over to them. And I try again, and I say, "Hey, it's me you want, it's me. Leave her alone." And I just think about Zarina, and I think, and in this moment, it's her that they're trying to grab. And it's both her and this other woman. And when one looks at me, I just remember like a story I did about shooting ranges and all the things. I just remembering the little pieces, and I just move the rifle. And the first shot goes wide because I fire too quickly. Like the trigger pull's not right. I jerk and it goes wrong. But I just breathe with like sweat and with it like there's like a panic in my eyes, but I'm calming myself like in all the other kinds of things that I've been doing. I've been very been doing very unwise and dangerous things recently of late. And so the adrenaline calms, and I just move the gun and I fire 2 shots each. This one, the one that's grabbing her shoulder, then the next one that's in front of her, then the next one. And it's just boom, 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 boom. And then when those 3 are done, like 2 more shots go off because it's just, and then I stop and I listen for other ones. But I'm listening for them, but I'm looking at her. You have to go.
And she looks up at you as they've just sort of dropped around her. She sort of looks behind her and there's a bizarre sort of smile on her face as you sort of just take them out around her, and she runs forward and grabs hold of you.
The other one, the other one. You have to get the other one.
And she looks at you and turns around as one seems to be coming in through, if you had a back door or a back window, comes straight through, and she just throws. Again, you can see this light, and this person sort of shakes for a moment and just drops like a heavy weight to the floor. And she grabs hold of your wrist, says, "More will be coming, probably bring that. Come on then." And she runs and starts dragging you out the door.
That's the one she loves. We can't leave it here.
She doesn't acknowledge you.
I'm not paying attention. I look back at the other one, and I've got Solly, and I do not feel good about leaving the other one here as we go.
Do you want to try and take it with you, or are you going to leave it?
If I can grab the hover stretcher, I would.
Yeah.
Because
okay.
I don't want to leave the one that she actually cares about.
Okay. And you can burst out, and it is nighttime in Mara, and you can hear the wildlife, which is primarily a lot of birds and things like that. At first they've gone silent, but the deeper you go into the forest, there is almost like an alarm that has been raised by these animals, and you can hear it. And she's sprinting through this forest, and this forest is built up of very sort of twisty, gnarled trees, almost like yew trees, but they scale really, really high, and you can see sort of lots of like flora sort of hanging off of it and things like that. You can see some of the more nocturnal creatures out, but she is running, and she's running by your side, helping you keep up. If anything, she runs to the front of where the stretcher is and starts pulling the front. He's like, "So you're keeping it then?"
Yes. I'm glad that they kept my cardiovascular fitness, and I'm going to detonate the decoy.
Okay, what's it look like?
It is a broadcast. There's a broadcast that goes out. It starts broadcasting about 2 or 3 miles away. And up on the galactic web, I suppose, you see Livewire. And Livewire is up, and Livewire is in a forest. And Livewire's like, "Hi, everyone. Greetings. It's Livewire here. Make sure you like, subscribe, and follow. And I'm giving you a broadcast from deep in a forest, somewhere where I cannot say. That would let you know where I am. And location security is always important when you're streaming. But I'm taking a bit of a tour. I'm in a bit of trouble, my friends. Some folks I've got maybe some overzealous fans that are looking for me right now. And I understand there's no nightlife here, so we're not going to get a really exciting bar scene or anything like that, but I thought you might enjoy noting that I might be a little bit chased right now, but here's the thing. What they don't know, and I will tell you and I, because we are encrypted and they can't hear us, is that I have got, I've set up some traps right around where I'm standing, so if they come to try to find me, they're gonna get a bit of a surprise. Now, I'm also gonna just keep on the line here for a little bit, because in case they do get me, I want there to be witnesses to what's happening right here. And I want you to know that there are some bad things happening out there, and I think that you should be aware of it. And this is just this sort of broadcast that is happening, just broadcasting out. So anybody who'd be watching my stream, I don't know who that would be, but those people might be, but it's there as a bright beacon. And like, it's the location is not clear, but it's clear that I'm in the forest, right? And it's and there is this little broadcasting beacon right out there in the woods, broadcasting a Livewire who is sort of who's broadcasting because he knows he's being chased and he wants to make sure there are witnesses to this thing that's going to happen to him. And this is going to go on. It's about a 10-minute recording, is what it is, of him talking to his audience, and yes, to give them a different signal to follow while they go.
Yeah, you can see, I will say, in fact, could you roll me an intellect check of 3, please.
I can. And I'm going to use one of my advantages because that is what they are there for, leaving me with 1 left. I won't roll that second one. I'll just keep that 20. I'll just keep that 20.
Okay. Something you see as you are running. You can see that Alana is half dragging the stretcher at the front, leading. She's weaving. Every now and then she stops and keeps on running, almost to hide from anything she might see. You do, as you're running, you pause for a moment, and those red glowing visors just doof, 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 and you can see throughout the forest just the glow as they seem to be almost like they're stepping out from the trees. Not necessarily seen you or anything yet because of the broadcast, but you're suddenly aware of how many there are. And it's quite an extreme amount to send out just after you. No offense.
I do that thing that you do in video games because Livewire's played a lot of video games and VR mode. You run, but you run in a slight crouch because then they can see you less. So there's just it's just instinct, right? It's just the instinct where you just it's still running, but it's just like just a slight crouch, and then just hoping that broadcast will just pull their attention as we move.
Okay.
I hope you have a vehicle. I don't know why you would.
And she looks to you for a moment. It's like, walk and talk. And it keeps moving without. You get the feeling she is listening, but at the same time, she is definitely distracted by everything that's going on around her. But she does sort of call back. Sort of, you can hear her breath where she's been running. She's like, "You really want to keep this?"
Not for me.
How thoughtful. And keeps running. And as that happens, as you stare sort of out into the darkness of this forest in Mara, more and more of doof as these visors power up.
Then somewhere on another part of Mara, that's right, everyone. Here's the thing. I'm always here for you, right? No matter what. I appreciate all this time you've spent with me. And if I get out of here, please know I will never stop streaming. But if there's anybody out there watching me across the ether, please know that I have always loved you and I always will, and I've never stopped. And no matter what happens, just know that to that special someone out there. And all my friends, I'll owe you a drink, and yeah, I owe you a drink. And then there's this like realization. Oh, okay, right. Anyway, yeah, I think they might be coming. I don't know. Well, hey, don't trust the supremacy. That's one. Don't trust them. They don't have your best interests at heart. They're a bunch of liars. They're hypocrites. They're not great, everyone. And like all of a sudden, like facts and details that would not compromise anyone I know, that would make them look really, really bad. And from my earlier investigations, things that are incriminating, things that would make them look bad, things that might encourage people to distrust them, to think poor things of them, all of that. Like, I should just tell you, way before I started this, I had another job, and in that job, I found out some things. I've got evidence. I cannot actually broadcast that to you right now because, as you can tell, I'm in a forest. However, you should probably know these things. And like just going through various like supremacy leaders, dirt that I've had on them, like hypocrisy, affairs, like all of it, like all the things, like the rest of this entire stream is like character assassination of the supremacy in the highest order, broadcast to the entire galaxy, just to the solar system. It's all in there, is what that is.
And that gets sent out to thousands.
It is perhaps some of the best reporting he has done in couple of years, because he's not really done reporting for a really long time. He's been hanging out in bars, getting drunk and punched in the face a lot. And this is him sort of putting out for the solar system, the system, as much of the detail, none of which he's forgotten, that he can, that does not bring up Archer, that does not in any way sort of implicate the core, but all of that. And he hopes at least that will get them to pay attention to this broadcast and not wherever else he might have been at that moment.
I will say, as you're running, and you see all those visors, you also see your numbers of people watching, and it is going up and up and up in rapid scale. But back over in the Broken City, I'm going to offer the four of you a group GM intrusion if you want it.
Do we want it? Is that good or bad?
GM intrusion.
Up to you.
Remind us again what a GM intrusion is.
We get experience points.
Bad happens, but
We
we
get an
get
experience point though.
And because it's a group one, it will be big, but you will each get experience points.
It's an Alice idea. Of course I want to do it, so I'm not gonna.
Because it's an Alice idea is why I'm so torn on it. I'm like,
You know, I'm very scared but very interested.
yes.
See, me as the player, Lindy, I'm always like, fuck your GM intrusion. I don't want anything to do with it. But if the group wants it, I'll go for
You can choose to take an individual one if no one wants it. It will just be nice.
I rolled a die for it because that felt appropriate, and it said yes. So
All right.
I'm in the yes bucket.
it. Sure.
Alright. I'm with the
Okay.
birthday girl.
Okay. Group
No,
GM
don't follow me
intrusion.
into the darkness.
So you will get an XP. Okay. There is a moment of this. I will say, Loxy, you can hear the shudder of your robot as it comes crashing through the crowds. It's just plowing now. It's sort of just making backwards and forwards, dividing the supremacy and you up, where those ones were chasing you. Cantor, you are running through these crowds at the moment. Zarina, you've spotted Loxy. You can see her just below. And Hybria and Archer, you're up on the roofs. And he looks towards you and is like, are we just running?
Yes, running. Don't get caught.
Okay. Good plan. And he just runs and you see that first jump and that crash as he sort of lands on those tin roofs and the heavy echo of his footsteps going over and over as he starts moving
Run quieter.
between the roofs. And he's just like, he looks back and gives you a really overdue, which you recognize probably from when he was a kid. But he starts sprinting and he moves fast. You can guess there's another reason he hasn't been caught yet. And it's inhumanly fast how fast he's moving. You guess maybe beforehand he was staying slow for you.
I'm running to catch up.
Running
Quiet
after.
as quietly as possible, I guess.
Okay, you are sprinting and you are running. You can see above you that goes all the way up to the top, the very, very high ceilings. You see these cars dropping down again, these vans that are hovering. And he's just ahead of you. And out of your peripheral, the corner of your eye, you hear one of those bikes, the hover bikes going really fast. And as he makes that jump to the next roof, it just collides with him halfway and sends him and the bike just going across. And you can see he's grabbed by the person on this bike. This wasn't an unintentional hit. He's currently been grabbed sort of at the back and they're clinging onto him and he is trying to get them to let go. What would you like to do?
How far away from me are they?
They're now a couple of roofs away. You would have to sprint to get to them.
Yeah, I'm sprinting. And heck, it's my only weapon, but I guess I'm going to just try and throw my meat tenderizer at the person's head and tenderize them a little bit.
Roll me a speed check of 3, please.
Still
Throw
got
meat
edge,
tender.
so that's good.
This is
so
like
that'll
if
drop down to
Thor was
2.
from Flavortown.
Yes, success on the speed check.
Yeah. What does it look like? As you see him almost just disappearing over the roofs. What does Hybria look like? What's her reaction?
I mean, she just looks like a mess, but I think she's still very like cool and collected because this is just all she does is looking for her brother, and upon finding brother, protect brother. So she just has that meat tenderizer in her hand, and as soon as they grab Archer, I am throwing it at them, and I feel like the meat tenderizer like collides with their head and sends them askew, but I'm hoping that by then I like catch up and can like grab Archer as the hover bike goes careening off. Maybe.
What
is
I
how
will
see
say
it.
on that is that you throw it, and it's that you're not sure. Now you're sort of questioning, is it your AI accuracy as to what is built in? And it just, you see it crash into the side of like this helmet of this Supremacy watcher, and the bike swings. You see Archer swing. They let go of him. You watch him crash, almost like leave a path through some of these other market stalls that have not gone up yet. He disappears. You still know where he is, but he disappears now that he's off the roofs.
I'm
And
jumping
this
after him.
Biker just crashes into another one,
Yeah,
and
don't
you
care.
can just see the smoke sort of erupt up, and you can start running towards Archer.
Yeah, I'm like jumping off that roof right into wherever he crashed into.
Absolutely. You can stop running. You can see him. He's sort of like slumped over things, and he looks up at you. He's like, "Thank you. You gonna help me up?"
Yes, all I do is help you, esteemed older brother. Let's go.
And he almost like he's not allowed to finish as he's back up on his feet again, and you can start running. Zarina, you
Yes.
can see Loxy. You can see, and Loxy, you can look up, you can see Zarina. Up ahead, there are 5 of these Supremacy sort of coming down this alleyway. They're definitely they're coming towards Loxy, and you can see that they are honed in. I will say you can see these like stun battens and these other sort of bits of equipment you know are used to effectively knock people out and knock them out for a long time.
Not good things, then. Is there anything exciting up on this rooftop?
How exciting are we thinking?
Like, I don't know, bricks?
There's
Metal
definitely bits of sheet
poles?
metal.
Sure. How big's the biggest piece of sheet metal?
You could definitely pick up a massive, proper massive square of it, rectangle of it.
Could I just pick up a massive square of sheet metal and then yeet it down to give a barrier for Lexi?
Yeah, roll me a speed check, please.
Sure thing. I'll use... You know what? I'm gonna use a, effort here, because that sounds good. Hey, it's success of 4.
Okay, so you're throwing it down to get in between them, or to create an actual barrier? Okay.
Like a
So-
barrier, kind of like, hey, you see her now, you don't! Go!
Loxy, you have almost like your route changed for you. You see these people running, and then just Arena seems to come out of nowhere with this massive sheet of metal and just slams it down, almost like creating a wall, forcing you to turn left. But these Supremacy are now no longer in your path. You can keep running. You have to career away from Zarina to do it, but you can still see each other.
Yeah, I'll just, as soon as it goes down, I'll look back at you and say thanks, and then keep running.
Okay. As you keep sprinting, you are weaving in between these alleyways, and there's lots of people in here now. It's very much so. Zarina, it'd be awkward, or not awkward for you to get down there, but you might be faster up
Yeah,
on the
she'll
roof,
stay up
is
on
what
the
I'm
roof
saying.
then.
Okay. Loxy,
She
you're
can
moving.
see more from up there too. She can relay
Oh
it.
yeah, you can see a lot. In fact, from where you are, you can see more and more vans coming down.
Yeah, especially if
You-
those scanner robots are avoiding me for some reason. I'll just stay up here.
You will notice that they are becoming more and more focused on Loxy, and Loxy, you will see some of these things overhead, but there's multiple. There seems to be about 5 on you right now, and you've noticed since they're sticking with you. It's not like they're disappearing and moving up to somewhere else. They're sticking with you.
Loxy's running. She's like, why me? What's happening?
Okay. As you do, you go running down these alleyways, weaving and weaving. You see some of the supremacies, they swing for you. You can definitely dodge them. You can see the little Osirian, who has obviously got away, as she too is sprinting, not in the same direction of you, actually coming the other way, and moving through the streets. And down to one of the GM intrusions, you turn and speed round a corner, and you actually hit what feels like a brick wall. And there is this huge person, and I mean huge. I'm talking full armor, you can't see their face. And it's almost like you knock backwards and get sort of fall over at this point. And I need you to make a might check for me, please, so they don't knock you out.
Okay.
Oh boy.
These are big. They look very similar to the others, but they are just huge. They look, you know, almost like a human shield.
What are they feeding these guys?
I like want to spend effort, but I'm also scared to spend effort.
Okay, doesn't knock you out. You almost hit it, and it's almost like a headache. You feel like an immediate explosive headache as it comes, and you feel your arms both grabbed in one massive fist, and they start dragging you down this alleyway towards one of the vans. Zarina, you're too far to react immediately, but you can see this, and you watch as you can you sprint across this these roofs, and you spot a van that is very, very different.
Oh.
It is not one of the usual ones that they seem to be ferrying people into. This is heavy duty. In fact, you've never seen one like this before.
Okay.
And luckily, you're very, very small, and you're literally lifted up off of the ground, and you feel a crash as they throw you into the back of it, and they slam that door shut.
I'm gonna turn my goggles on and try to see if there's anything I can do.
Okay. Roll me an intellect check, please.
Is there just a straight intellect, or?
Roll just a straight intellect, and we'll see how much you can see. Okay, if anything, your head hurts. Your head really, really hurts. But as you, it's almost more of like an X-ray type thing you can feel. You can definitely, if you look through the doors you came in, you notice whoever that big watcher was, they're holding onto the side, and you know that it's hovering, but it's using technology you don't actually recognize. This is not standard supremacy. You've never dealt with it before. It's not just hover effectively. You can see that there are two people in the front driving. You hear a bang on the roof, and one of them yell, "We gotta go!" And Zarina, you see this van start taking off.
How far away is it?
It would be a run and jump.
Okay. Because I can far step to long range, so like 100 feet's my max. So.
Also, the big guy's on the outside of the van.
Like where on the outside of the van?
You know when like you hold on to the top of like a Land Rover or something? They're on that.
So like he's on the side, like hold on to the top. Okay. If that's the case. Oh, this is a terrible idea. I can't let Loxy get away, I guess. So I want to run and jump onto the hood of the car.
Okay.
It sounds like less in that big guy's range and more distracting to drivers, so.
Roll a speed check for me, just to see
Sure.
how well you land more than anything.
Not well at all!
You run, you jump, and it's like you hit it too hard.
Do I just slide over the top?
You sort of, you don't slide off the top,
Okay.
you sort of fall and you drop, and you realize how high up this van is now. It is high. And the problem is you make such a crash onto it and you start sliding down. You're holding onto the edge, and this huge man moves around the side, and he reaches down and he picks you up.
Oh, hi there.
He drops you.
Oh, that's fine. Oh,
And-
land, okay.
I will say, Hybria, you're helping arch it up, and you literally watch Serena crash through one of the other roofs, and not elegantly, not in a pain-free way. This looks hard, and you can look up and you see the van is almost gone.
I'm gonna run over to Zarina and just be like, "Are you okay?
Okay,
Is Loxy?"
Loxy's in there. Yep, they want her specifically for some reason.
Well, I think it's too far away now. I think the best thing we can do is
Get the plate number, track it or something.
Yes.
Hack stuff.
yes. I can't hack it from here. I have to be touching it, but
Okay.
I try to take a photographic memory photo of the van.
Yeah, it's also a fairly... I would say actually you recognize it because of your family. You've seen them before. It's heavy duty. You may have seen them once, maybe twice. Very, very young. You can't even really remember where from, but you could tell it's... You could definitely get a good look at it and remember.
It's
the
deep
plate.
in the databanks back there.
Mm-hmm.
Cantor, you are running. You've got Fliss on your back, and part of your GM intrusion is that as you're running and running, you can see there's this huge, what seems like machine robot go crashing, through which you have to sort of take a step back, to get out of the way of. And as you do, you feel like these little hands grip you and let go as this supremacy member grabs hold of her and literally yanks her off of your back. What would you like to do?
Was that an attack?
It wasn't an attack. It was her getting them off your back.
It's an intrusion.
It's an intrusion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I can spend my experience point, right? And have a player intrusion?
Oh, mm-hmm. Of course you can. What would you like to do?
Okay. Again, I don't know if I can do this, but let's see if we can do it. If he could see, because he has that sensing, his scans out, he can see that everybody's blip. If he starts to see Loxy's blip go up, and, you know, surrounded by even just a few of the supremacy, he would like kind of cast back and see if he can't put another resonance field around Fliss to at least give her a moment where she could get a chance to get away. But then he would create yellow discs and he would start throwing them in front of him as he starts running upstairs into the sky.
Okay. Roll me purely for Fliss's thing. You can definitely do the an intellect check just because you're focusing on something big
Right.
as well.
This is it for that. What did I get? 15.
Okay, yeah. Okay, so you hear that moment and you feel Fliss's little hand sort of let go of you, and you can, that pulse of the sort of shield goes up around her. You hear her scream, but as she does, she's flung down onto the ground, but they're trying to get hold of her, but it's almost this thing is like it's burning them as they're trying to get hold of her, and she is scrabbling and she's swinging as she does. What does it look like as you use these discs to get higher and higher? I will say this has started to leave the underground, but you can get there.
He would be spawning them as quickly as he could, just as he's running, just higher and higher and higher, climbing up these stairs of like amber discs. And as soon as his foot leaves the one and pushes off, it would dissipate and he would throw down another one as he continues to climb. But as he's doing this, he's covered in sweat and his eyes are starting to almost bleed this kind of run of energy. And as it floats off, it becomes like wisps of like ozone. And because a GM intrusion is absolute, and I just wanted to set that up, the more he climbs, he would get slower and slower until he was just standing on one of the discs. and he would look at himself and look around in this elevated position, and he would say, "What the hell am I doing?" And he would cut all of his power and start to fall.
At that moment, Loxy, I will say, with your goggles, if you have your goggles still fixed on, as much as it's juddering, it's almost like the only thing that's keeping your head focused. You can pick up where Cantor is, and you see it's almost like blinding lights. When you're looking through like a heat sensor or heat camera, you can see these lights appearing as if they're coming from underneath you, from where you are in the van, and you recognize it picks up Cantor's signature immediately. But there's a point where you just watch, and it's like it starts to fizzle out, and he falls. What are you doing inside the van? You know you're getting right to the top now.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out. I'd like to use my machine interface.
Mm-hmm.
The difficulty of discerning the level of function and activation of technological devices that you touch is decreased by 1 step. So I'm still trying to figure out if I can figure out how this machine works.
Okay.
I know it's a different technology than I'm used to, but I want to.
Okay. You could you roll me an intellect check, please, again to see how much? Straight up intellect check, please. Okay.
14.
So what does it look like as Loxy's almost like, is she calm? Is she panicked when she does this? How is she going about it?
She's a little panicked. She's got her goggles on. She's like staring at it. She just saw Cantor fall, and she can't do anything about it. So internally, she's just like, I need to get out of this van. I need to get out of this van. And so she's like looking at the floor, looking at the door to see if there's any way to like unlock it even, or if there's any way she can get out of this van.
Okie dokie. You sort of sense around, and it's checking all your surroundings, and this is bizarre to you. If anything, this is high level engineering. You know you could definitely mess with the speed of it, and also the air filter functions, because it is as soon as you hit that next level through into the ruined city bit where you started, it's harder to breathe because of all of the pollution and things like that at that point. And you could start to affect the people in the front, but it would affect you as well. But you would be aware that it was coming.
Mm-hmm. Can I start with one and then move to the other?
Absolutely.
Okay, I want to start by trying to slow down the van. So,
Mm-hmm.
Looking at the understanding now, how it works a little bit, I'm gonna just start trying to tune my vest panel to the van's speed, and then trying to flip switches to adjust how the speed works. Like if it's a combustion,
like you
engine,
can make
like
it
affect the.
Yeah, like you can make it judder, like it's almost like it's stalling. You can make it sort of slow down in that sense, for sure.
I want to mess with the like input that it's getting,
Mm.
so it
Oh,
can't
yeah.
like accelerate faster, or so juddering is great.
Yeah, you're juddering, and I will say that Zarina and Hybrid, from where you are, you can see this van is starting to struggle as it goes higher and higher. Cantor, as you sort of stepped on that last disc, it was almost like that flood of realization, and it was a flash of, again, a flashback of bizarrely Mac, as you're stood looking at a very, very young Mac, a smile on his face, and he seems to be in some form of uniform. The higher you get, you pick up more and more of the details, and you can't hear his voice, but he seems to be talking to you. And you look down at yourself, and you see a small badge on your own matching uniform. And that's when you snap. and you start to fall. Question, does Cantor ragdoll, or is he falling in style?
As he would fall, I would suspect that anything that he's just learned would immediately go back into the ether and the vapor, and his current state would resume. And in his current state, his best friend's name is Loxy, and she's in a van being taken away. So he would almost be yo-yoing. He would stop and use his power to slow himself down and then start to climb again towards the van. He would just drop 10 feet and then stop and start to kind of do it again until he is fighting with himself.
And I will say, as this happens, Zarina and Hybria, you see this struggle in the air. Hybria, Archer immediately calls up and yells Cantor's name as you watch him just above you, sort of a fight through the air. Half almost like swimming, half stepping as he tumbles through. And you can see that van leave through the top.
I'll just look at Zarina and be like, don't let Archer out of your sight. And I would like to use I have so much might and speed is my thing, apparently. I want to try and parkour up as many buildings as possible to try and intercept Cantor and grab him before he falls to the ground.
Okay. Roll me a speed and might check. Zarina, I will say you probably have to hold Archer as he sort of yells after his sister for her to wait, because he doesn't know what she's going to do.
Difficulty?
Do difficulty, I will say 3 on speed, 4 on might.
All right.
It's okay, she'll be back. Everything will be fine eventually, maybe.
It seems like a time to use effort. Yep. Okay, speed is good.
Mm-hmm.
And might is good.
Woo!
I am fast and mighty. Bow before me.
Describe what this epic moment looks like. You hear your brother yell after you as Zarina holds him back. You see the van leave. How do you intercept Cantor through midair as he struggles and sort of falls and flails down?
I feel like there's a building near us that has like, a tight alleyway. So I'm like jumping off the walls of the alleyway. And then I on the last jump, I launch myself out of the air and just throw myself at Cantor and lock onto him. And then maybe tuck and roll onto another rooftop on the other side and just kind of cushion the blow with my own body.
You have this moment of moving off the walls, forcing yourself up higher and higher. I'll say, Zarina, you definitely see Archer sort of watch in half disbelief because he's never seen his sister do anything like this. And you watch him, he stops pulling away as his arms sort of fall to his side as he watches her sort of ricochet off of the walls, use her own sort of strength to propel upwards. And Cantor, you feel this oof as it hits you.
How many flights up was that police station? Was it 60 stories or something?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, she'll be like, you should have seen it when she jumped out a 60-story window.
he doesn't say anything, but he looks at her he looks at you in absolute horror, Zarina, as you say that. And then there's that contact, and Cantor, you feel that wall hit you. But you feel the arms go round you.
More worried about something that previously happened. Maybe he'll be less worried about what's going on now.
Cantor would, as soon as he's kind of taken, his power would fade, and he would, as the blue leaves his eyes, he is crying, and he would look up at Hybria, and he would just say, lost her.
We'll get her back. If we got Archer back, then we can get Loxy back. Don't worry. But we gotta get out of here. We have to keep ourselves safe first now, if we want to get her back.
He would just hug Hybria.
I'm half hugging, half dragging, carrying. I'm yes, that's nice, but let's go.
And at that point, Loxy, you're very focused as you try to slow this vehicle down as it leaves the broken city. And I think that's where we will leave it this week. Ready for next week. So back over.
Boy.
My little fluff.
This is exciting.
Winning more.
We thought a
Gosh.
2-way split was bad. Let's just go 4 or 5 ways. Why not? It'll be fine. Oh boy. All right, so let's go around. Let's say who we are if you're on the internet, where we can find you, and what your favorite part of today's game was. I'm gonna go in, let's say reverse order. Alice, how are you? What was your
Hello.
favorite part?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know. I'm just really hot now because I have to remember everything and do everything as it goes. I think I just love epic moments like Cantor running through the air. I love the idea of Loxy going along and disabling I can just see all of these cars going doof, doof, like dropping around, and it's literally Loxy running because she's running really fast to try and get away from everyone, but still managing to do all this at the same time and activate a fully blown machine to take things out. I love the image of Zarina running across rooftops, and I love the conversation between Alana and Livewire. That was just fun to do in general. So yeah, and I just liked being here with this wonderful group of people, and we get to celebrate Lily's birthday while I was doing it. So
Yes, all the excitement. Exciting. Trooper, how you've had some excitement too. How are you?
Fine. I'm okay. Yeah. I mean, I'm fine. You know, me personally,
As long
I'm
as you're
great.
fine.
This was such a good episode. I had such a good time. Now, Memorex and Livewire, I don't know if they're fine. I feel like they might not be fine, but I'm okay. This was so good. This was so good. I'm Trooper SJP, everybody. And you can find me on my Twitch channel, Trooper SJP, tonight at 7 o'clock for a solo episode of the French Resistance campaign I run, City of Light and Shadow. And Greg, I have to point the right direction. Greg is gonna do his solo episode tonight, and I'm sure it will be fine. I'm sure it won't go bad at all, probably. I mean, you know. And my favorite moment, that was so hard. There was so much goodness in there. I really sort of liked, it was this moment when this was like such a small little moment, right? When Archer went to grab Lily's hand, Hybria's hand, and Hybria said, "Oh, I'm gonna need my hand for when the fighting starts," because it was just this like little moment where you could see that Archer still saw her as his little sister, but she is this badass warrior, and he just didn't know it yet, but she knew it. And it was just this little moment of kind of like a slight shift in their relationship that was so small but so beautiful, and such a great bit of characterization. And I really appreciated that. I also love the moment when we learned that they were not looking for Xena, but they were looking for Loxy. That was a bit of a mystery, and I was like, well, that's a mystery. What is that about? I need to know. I was very concerned. And then also, the thing that I think is so amazing about Cantor is Cantor has the ability to be in full-on badass hero mode, but then you still want to cry and hug him, because he'll just say like a thing about like the only person I can remember right now is Loxy, and you just remember how on the inside of him he's like just so fragile while he's like throwing discs to the sky and about ready to kick everybody's butt and all this stuff. It's just that moment like, oh, you know, I just have to turn off all of my powers. Oof. Like it's just like, oh, there's like something so amazing about this like real intense vulnerability about Cantor in the midst of like action hero-ness that is so like moving. That's me.
Wonderful. Someone who had a lot of heat today, surprisingly, was Loxy. Erica, how are you?
I'm just trying to fix cars. I don't know what happened. I mean, I only did a little bit of illegal activity, but you know, who hasn't?
Doesn't warrant this kind of response.
Yeah, I mean, you know. But I'm Erica Firmina, I play Loxy, and you can find me everywhere on the internet at AStylePixie. I stream on my personal Twitch channel Monday through Thursday at 3 p.m. Pacific. And then Girls Guts Glory, Wednesdays at 10 a.m. Pacific. And here, Fridays, obviously. Come back. This story is incredible. And well, actually, it's this Saturday, this time at noon on Voidcat Gaming's channel. I will be playing a ghost hunting RPG called Occultation, and it's very fun. That's usually on the last Saturday of every month. And my favorite moment, I don't know, it was just so... when we went to the back door and the music changed and it was
Ooh,
just
yeah.
the general vibe just went and I was like, oh god. And then when they were like, get there, sorry, and I was like, why? And I just went to panic mode. But I'm very excited and I love this game and it's always Alice used to be such an epic, crazy, amazing story and
Yeah,
in the best
I'm
way. In the best
shell
way.
shocked too. I'm gonna be shell shocked. That's why we have a week between games is time to recover. Greg, how are you?
I'm doing fantastic. That was an amazing game in an amazing world by an amazing GM, as I am surrounded by amazing players telling their tales. There were incredibly epic moments throughout this entire episode that we had that moment of pause before when Livewire was talking, and then that all hell broke loose, and it went from this really great almost philosophical debate to just straight out of like Michael Bay's wet dream action movie, and I loved it, and I thought that was great. And it shows the amazing GM qualities of our Alice. But I love all of these characters so much. I feel for all these characters. I get pissed when they took Loxy. I'm like, the fuck? And then you're trying to like wrap your head around it. But I think my favorite moment out of everything that happened was when Hybria parkours up, jumps up, and grabs Cantor, not because it's Cantor and but that was a mirror of what happened to them, like Lindy pointed out in the very first meeting when they dove out and all that stuff happened. It was just the reverse kind of situation. I loved it. I couldn't love it more. That's when the action meets the narrative and a tale is told. I'm going to be on a fantastic game over on Troopers channel tonight. My character, Oscar Mueller, is face-claimed by Chris Evans. He's an ex-German military officer, has joined the resistance. He's in a very bad way, but don't worry, he does have Germany's ass. Back to you, Lindy.
Thank you. All right, and last but certainly not least, before I do my whole spiel, is the birthday girl, Lily. How are you?
I'm stressed. It's like, happy birthday, Lily. Let's put you in the most stressful game ever. I'm literally like sweating, like my palms are sweaty, my knees are weak. I got mom spaghetti somewhere. It's all just, yeah. But so good as always. Alice, the music, it just gets to me. The way you do music, like it just gets me right in the feels. Favorite moment, I really liked Livewire's, instant shout out to the love, and I love that he started getting followers, a lot more followers and views by the end. I'm like, yes, that's the dream, big scoop. I really loved Loxy just like doing her mechanical, like disabling things while like on the run and escaping things. I don't love that Loxy got picked up by the Supremacy. No. And yeah, just always just so many feels around Cantor, and so much badassery around Zarina. It's just such a good party, and it still just blows my mind that it's been like 3 days in game. Like we never rest. Like we just go non-stop. It's wild.
Point of order, actual Livewire's getting a lot of rest right now.
Good.
Yeah.
Because he's unconscious.
He's gotten the most rest, honestly.
Yeah.
In the hospital, unconscious, drugged up, also in a secret lab unconscious. I feel like actual Livewire is probably feeling real great right now.
I don't know. Maybe I need to get picked up by the Supremacy so I can like have a nap.
Have a nap.
I don't know. I keep running from them.
Would Loxy take a rest in the back of this van?
Yeah.
But I messed with the engine. Okay, it's time.
That's my art for
now
the
I
episode.
have a longer nap.
Right, that's my art for the episode.
Okay.
Loxy is so badass that in the back of the band, she's just like, "Fuck it, I'll get out of this." It takes a nap.
She slowed the van down so she could have a longer nap.
If you want to find me on the internet, I'm Lily Sparks everywhere. Sparks with an X, Instagram and Twitter. I am raising money right now for Little Warriors, who is a Canadian charity that aids and supports and treats and advocates for sexually abused children. And please, 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 if you have $1, $2, anything, all donations go a long way. And if you don't have the money, that's okay too. Views are appreciated, shares are appreciated. I just really want to open up this conversation because it's something that is not talked about, and that means more and more kids are going to be affected and hurt by it. So the more that we can give, the more that we can open up our hearts and our eyes to this serious problem, then it'll be a great birthday for me. So thank you all so much for being here and supporting me and playing in this awesome game. I'm going to be hopping over to my channel now on Twitch, Lily Sparks, to play roleplay roulette with some awesome people. We're going to be playing Dungeons and Dragons with randomly generated characters. We're going to random gen them on stream. So it's going to be real chaotic and should be pretty funny. So yeah, 4:30 to 7:30, that's where I'll be. And then, yeah, tomorrow I'll be streaming all day too, continuing to raise money for Little Warriors. So stop by. We'll have a storytellers panel with Ed Greenwood, and then I'll be playing in an all Asian cast game with Satine Phoenix. So will be a fun day. Yay!
Good birthday. Yeah, and I'll just yeet a raid over that direction, so people can be sitting there waiting for when you start up your stuff at 4:30. That's me for me. I'm Lindy. Favorite moments. I loved Ramos's conversation with Alana. I thought that was great. When Alice says, "So you can sense danger, right, Zarina?" I'm like, yeah, that was another good moment. And just all the little moments between characters. I like how Zarina and Loxy are finally like, yeah, okay, we're cool, we're friends, and then you get abducted. Okay, I tried. So tune in next week to see what happens from here. Also, check out our sponsor, Roll20, roll20.net. They're awesome. They're what gave us so many nat 20s and critical moments today. And they're just really cool, so check them out. They're free. Just do it. As for other things here on the channel, we are still on season break of Witcher, I believe. But we will, at some point in time, people won't have power outages and family things and twisted necks, and we will have our dread finale. We're just building the anticipation over the course of a month or so. And we'll be back with Mists of Ravenloft as well this Tuesday. And yeah. Oh, also on Tuesday, check out Degrees of Madness on LFM Network because it's hilarious and it's awesome. And my face hurts from laughing so much as the GM every time. And it's before Mists of Ravenloft, so just check that out because it's really cool. And yeah, I think that's it. I don't have any other things going on this week. And so thank you guys so much for showing up and hanging out. Have fun, play games, and we'll catch you next time.